All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, March the 11th, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, hi.
Hey, hi. Hey, hi.
Hey, hi. Hey, hi.
Hey, hi, hi.
You need help. No, you know what?
You've needed help for a while.
Well, you're not qualified.
No, I'm not.
You didn't go to enough school. No, I'm just trying to figure out. So, our friends at Beach Chocolate.
Yep.
I've got another pack from them, and it's, as you can see, it's St. Patrick's Day themed.
It's St. Patrick's Day themed. Yes, it is.
I'm trying to figure out which one to eat here.
How about all of them?
Not at the same time? No.
No. One at a time.
Actually, you know what?
Start at one corner and work to the other one.
Actually, no. I'm going to eat this one first. Look how pretty this is.
Oh, it's very nice.
What they've done, and they've done.
Is there a wrapping on it, or is that the chocolate?
No, that's the chocolate. That's
oh my God.
That's a little swirl on there, and this is a Guinness something cream. I forget the part of it is. Wow, I'm doing a bad job repping for them, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
That is now I remember Guinness toffee cream.
Guinness toffee cream.
Oh my God. That's wonderful.
Guinness toffee cream. What is it? Give me what flavors are you getting there?
Guinness and toffee?
Just Guinness and toffee. I mean, that's nothing else.
And chocolate.
Well, of course.
A little bit of salt.
And you can get any of these. You can get any of these chocolates by going to
B Chocolat. BECHOC
LAT.
Mm-hmm. .com. And they also they also have this.
Oh, that's very nice.
You know what this is?
What is that? Why don't you tell us?
These hearts. It's a white chocolate around. It's Irish whiskey.
Okay.
IPA.
An Irish whiskey IPA.
Yep. Actually, quite yummy.
Very nice.
I ate one of them already. But there was one in this pack, so I put it back in here so you can see the whole thing.
It's very nice.
It's just for the display purposes of it.
I got you.
But it's just not like it's a chocolate day or anything. It's just
it's just the chocolates happen to be St. Patrick's Day related, and this is a St. Patrick's Day related show, so you wanted to bring them out.
Oh, that's why we're dressed like this.
I hope that's why we're dressed.
Look how pretty this is.
That's very nice.
Yeah, so look at these things. There's a Bailey's in here. A Bailey's cream. I can't wait to have that one. But no, it's we had there was like dessert after dinner. We had sofrito chicken because today is National Sofrito Day.
Yes, it is. We don't have a.
Oh, because we said we're going to do the other one, didn't we?
Exactly. Yeah, the other one. So what we did say we were going to do is Happy Worship of the Tools Day.
And you're looking at two tools here. Worship us.
Worship of tools. There you go. Have at it, folks. Have at it.
I just derailed John from his dirty joke that he was going to tell.
No, I wasn't going to tell it anyway. That was just for you earlier.
Just for me, was it?
Just for you. That's it.
But it's also, and John has done a wonderful job of this, but I don't think he did it today. But if you've noticed over the past couple of shows, his background has changed a little bit.
A little bit.
And if you look over on the lower left corner over his right shoulder.
This way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking to the audience, not you.
Okay.
Over his right shoulder, lower left corner there, you can see how anal retentively he has organized his bottles of beer down there.
True story.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I like what you got back there now. That's
bookcases, glassware. There's
you got the humidor.
The humidor's up here. There's this is Evan Roberts' My Mets Bible book right there. It's all of the games he's scored. I read it. I'll read a chapter or two here and there. It's a pretty decent book. And there's a bunch of other books there too. And then the bookshelf that was here is over here now. The TV that was here is actually on top of the humidor. Can't see it, but it's up there. Yep. It's on right now too.
It was distracting anyway. So
it was very distracting. So he moved it. So and the bar's a little neater, and there you go. So how do you organize your home office?
You can actually tell us a bar.
You can actually tell us a bar. Exactly.
Exactly. I've done nothing.
You've done nothing.
No.
You've done nothing. You've seen nothing.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, well, anyway, I'm thirsty. Are you?
I am thirsty. It's traditional that we don't drink until we bring the guest on. So let's bring the guest on because this is not just a two of us show.
Not just the two of us show. Please welcome to the show today, Mr. Al Gattullo. How are you, sir?
Hi there. What's going on, boys?
The most Irish person we could find for the show today.
Exactly. When I think Ireland, I think Gattullo.
Right. Exactly. Sure.
He's shit shamrocks.
There you go.
I just love the alliteration.
Works.
Alliteration works for you all the time. There you go. So how are you this fine evening, Mr. Gattullo?
I'm good. I'm good. Busy but good.
Busy's
So,
good. Busy's good.
Busy is good. A lot of stuff going on. So a lot of stuff in the beer world, but also a lot of stuff personally, and just running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So
Yeah, and I know what that's like. Very,
I
very,
missed the dress
very
code.
familiar with the concept.
I would have wore green and yellow and whatever, but sorry, I decided on ELO. You can't really see it. But
It's all fine. It, actually, just looking at the top of it is reminding me, like I'm thinking that you have like a
so
Led Zeppelin 3/4 sleeve concert tee.
That's great.
oh well, let me tell you something. That Led Zeppelin documentary that I saw over the weekend, Becoming Led Zeppelin, go see it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of any type of music,
Mhm.
you should absolutely see it. It's part one. It ends at Led Zeppelin 2, but the backstory of how the band got together and things that I found out that I didn't know about the individual band members is amazing. They all talk in it, including John Bonham. They have recordings from back in the
cool.
70s,
Wow.
which is really cool. And I'll give you one thing that I did not know, and I should have because I'm a huge James Bond fan.
Mhm.
Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones started out as session musicians
Mhm.
before Page was in the Yardbirds and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. They both worked on Goldfinger with Shirley Bassey
Really?
Oh, that's cool.
credited on that song. So I did not know that. And John Paul Jones was just like, yeah, it was another gig. You went in, you did your thing, and and that was it. But really, really cool stuff. And there's actual full songs that they play from concerts. Page had enormous leverage when they signed the first Led Zeppelin album with Atlantic Records. Unbelievable story. And it ends with them playing in England on I guess it was the release of Led Zeppelin 2. They're playing in England at Royal Albert Hall for the first time in front of family and all kinds of stuff. Really cool.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Now, my favorite thing about Zeppelin growing up was, my high school, like most people's high schools, was, divided into three different groups.
Mm-hmm.
You had the hoods, you had the jocks, you had the nerds.
Right.
Right.
Sounds about right.
Right. And the hoods, they in their work boots, they love Zeppelin.
Right.
That belonged to their genre they thought it was heavy metal.
No, well, they're the godfathers of heavy metal.
Yeah, they're considered heavy metal, but
they took it to another level. But Zeppelin started the whole thing.
Sure.
But me being highly into music at the time and in all styles of music, I was laughing up my sleeves like they're listening to the blues.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh,
And they don't even know they're listening to the blues.
but all of it is originated in the blues. The Rolling
Oh
Stones,
yes, everything.
but even the Beatles, there's blues influence. The blues, the electric blues in the 50s and the 40s changed the game for all of those musicians. That's the amazing thing.
Oh, if you look at when they point to the roots of their music, almost every one of them will mention Muddy Waters.
Yep.
He's one of the main influences on rock and roll.
Right. T-Bone, Chubby
T-Bone.
Checker,
Bo Diddley,
Bo Diddley.
Bo Diddley, have you heard?
Baby King. So it's all
I
there.
mean, remember Zeppelin got sued because they had taken stuff from other people, and then
Yep.
I forgot what happened with the court proceedings or whatever. But all of them admit that they heavily influenced from the black blues artists of the 30s and 40s. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every rock hero that you know of from the beginning did.
Well, not to belabor this music conversation because I love it and I'll talk about it all night. Maybe we should do a different show on that. But
Yeah, right.
But there's been a lot of reels lately.
You got three disc jockeys here.
Right. Yeah. You get doom scrolling, right? And you're going through these reels and one after the other, and you get to these ones where they compare newer songs
Oh yeah,
to
I love those.
older songs. It's like where it comes in, like I forget. I'm not pointing any out, but there's a bunch of them that they pull up some stuff from like newer stuff that's from the 90s or 90s or newer stuff that's from the 70s and 60s and 70s. But there's some stuff from the 70s and 80s that, and even some newer. You can go back to the 30s and 40s.
Oh yeah,
and hear the melody line or the hook or whatever they lifted from that.
Oh, the one that surprised me was and I should have been surprised. I should have caught it. Was someone I used to know.
Oh,
that's Baba Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Coyote, yeah.
Listen, everybody steals from one another. It's commonplace, but in the blues, there's only a certain range that you can go that's considered blues. So they're all copying off of one another. It's just different.
Absolutely.
That's all.
That's all. All right. So, all right, let's open a beer and then continue the conversation.
Oh hell yeah, please.
What are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking. They just put this in cans at Wet Ticket. This is Droning On, their American lager. It is a fantastic beer. It was weeks before they had gotten it into cans, so I was very happy that they put it in cans. Delicious lager, crisp, real easy drinking at 4.3%.
What was the name of it again? It cut out a minute. I just want so everybody else hears it.
Droning On.
Droning On.
Yeah. And so there's a picture of all drones.
It's in honor of the drone invasion that Jersey that'll never go explained.
Right.
Of course not. Why would they? It'd be too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy to do that. But it's a delicious beer. And their new Irish Red Ale and alt beer that they did, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the
Nice.
Very cool. And yeah, if you look over Al's right shoulder to the left of the screen, you'll see a Wet Ticket growler turned into a lamp.
That's right.
There you go.
Right behind me.
Right behind you.
Buddy of mine did that. Pretty cool. I told him, I said, you should do more and sell them, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, he should go to the beer festival.
Got a ton of them. I still have probably 10 sitting in a closet somewhere that he could probably convert.
You know how many growlers I have up in our attic? It just, I mean, there's certain breweries. There's a couple breweries that show my name list that there's a number of, right? But a whole different brewery. I'm not going to use them. I'm not using them. I mean, I should recycle them, right? I should get rid of them.
I like the nostalgia ones. Like Dogfish has the pumpkin one for their pumpkin ale that they still sell at an outlandish price. I would never buy it, but people, collect it. There's another one I have. I'm trying to think where I got it from. I don't remember, but it's like a short, fat, squat piece of glass, a 32-ounce. I would keep this. Like, this is a cool, like, something to put out conversation piece. The rest of them are all basically the same.
Yeah, the regular jug-looking ones. That's my point. Those are the ones.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm talking like the ones I'm going to keep are the ones that have the big aluminum handle on it with the big huge.
I have one of those.
Yep.
I had a few of those, but I have one now.
When I moved back to Jersey, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I have a Stanley one that my wife bought me for Christmas a few years ago with 4 cups that come with it that keep the beer cold. And in the middle of it, in the middle of the cup, is like a cozy cooler. Like, so you're holding it, you're not warming up the glass. So it's pretty
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
When I moved back to Jersey, I got rid of all but 3 of my growlers. Yes. The only 3 that I kept was the one that you described, John, with the big handle and the stopper top. Mm-hmm. One of those. The Hill Farmstead one, the one that's like kind of the flattened kind of.
Yeah, the squatty looking one, almost like if I had to describe it, it's more similar to like the bottle that Jeannie was in.
Yeah, I describe it like what do they call it?
Of course, half the people listening are like, Jeannie who?
It's like the pancake air compressors,
right?
Kind of almost that shape, right? Mm-hmm. And the third one, and I'm struggling to remember the name of the bar. There's a bar up in this area, John, and he closed down. Been there quite a few times, and I actually have a growler from it. I can't remember the name of the bar now.
When you say up in this area, you mean
my area, more
specifically where you are, or
no, more towards where you grew up, I believe.
Copper Mine.
Copper Mine. Yeah. Yep, Copper Mine. So I've got it was like, there's no way I'm getting rid of the Copper Mine growler.
No.
Those
growlers that Vinny had were really cool.
Yeah,
I saw somebody not too long ago come in to fill up a growler somewhere, I forget where it was, and they had the CO2, the one with
you see those,
stainless steel with the CO. I was like, "You're still using that?" He's like, "Yeah, it still works great." Refill the can, the the CO2 and works awesome. And he said he gets easily a week or two out of it if he does it right.
Oh,
So,
wow. Oh, I forgot. I've got a fourth. I've got the carton aluminum growler.
Right. Gotcha.
The one, what is it? The SS Growler is the name of it?
The SS Growler. Yeah.
Because that is a submarine.
Sally Growler.
Sally Growler. That's right. Because it's the Growler was it's named after, he's referencing the submarine that sits off the coast of Jersey. That is a very popular dive destination.
There you go.
Because it's not that deep.
Yeah. Before we continue anything else, Dave, what are you drinking?
I am drinking something from Kilkenny.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny?
Those bastards! It's
had to be said. So.
Within the county of Kilkenny in Ireland. This is Sullivan's Brewing Company Irish Gold Golden Ale. They've been around since, what did they say, 17 something?
17 something. That was a great year.
Yeah, it's a really good year. Early 1700s. It's golden. That's a little more amber than golden, as far as I'm concerned.
A little bit towards the amber side of golden. Yeah, I mean, it's not quite amber, but it's not quite golden either. It's kind of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but it's a pretty beer.
It's very pretty
beer. And it's got the it's heavily hopped with British hops. So it's got that hop spice to it that the British hops throw. That's nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. It balances pretty damn well with the malts.
Very nice.
It's not a bad quaff.
All right. So for my first beer, I stretched the first two, but you'll get it. My second beer is a Treehouse beer, so I figured my first beer can be a Treehouse beer. The second one ties into St. Patrick's Day a little bit more than the first one does, but nonetheless, it's the first one is a rye lager. It's Enduring Belief from Treehouse. Grains rye lager. It's not amber at all, but it's a very tasty beer. So that's what I'm drinking first. So there you go. And I put it in proper glassware. So of course for Treehouse. So,
cheers.
So, cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte.
Yes, Sláinte. Was it Sláinte Ve? I think is the way it gets finished sometimes.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
I forget exactly what the phrase is.
So anyway, all right. Well, it is next Monday is St. Patrick's Day. So this is our next show we do is after St. Patrick's Day. So we figured this one would be good to celebrate the day. So happy St. Patrick's Day.
Our pre-St. Patrick's Day celebration.
Pre-St. Patrick's Day celebration, which in Belmar, actually down here, it started
over a week ago.
We're over a week later than that started. So, but
right.
Belmar's the first parade. More parades later, but look, it's a wonderful tradition every year. It's the one. Basically, it's a month now. I mean, almost the entire month of March is St. Patrick's Day, right?
Well, because so many different towns and bars and stuff, they all celebrate it at different times because they know that people are going to be doing this, that, and the other thing. When they're like the Belmar one, that's a big parade that everybody goes to. There's the Newark one, which actually got pushed off. It was supposed to be this Friday. They're having the funeral for the police officer, so they moved it to next Friday. Staten Island, I think, does theirs the first week of March, right around there, whatever it is. If it's the 28th, they do it there, but usually it's the first weekend of March when they do it. It's amazing to me. I think Broadway Woodbridge, I think, had theirs last weekend. So it all depends on
Asbury Park was just this past Sunday.
You pick and choose, right? I mean, Atlantic City's was a big one that they did down on the boardwalk last weekend. So usually it's funny, right? They do it the week before because they know that everybody else is going to be doing it the weekend of.
Sure.
Well, and then there's New York City that always does it on the day of.
On St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
Always.
And then there's Pearl River, New York, there's the Sunday after St. Patrick's Day. The only time they don't do it the Sunday after St. Patrick's Day is when St. Patrick's Day is a Sunday. On St. Patrick's Day, yeah. So
interesting.
And that's the talking about parades. That's the from what I've been told over the years. I didn't actually research the data, right? But from what I've been told over the years, the biggest St. Patrick's Day parade in the country, in the United States, is actually Savannah, Georgia.
Really?
Savannah, Georgia. That's the largest St. Patrick's
Hotbed
Day
of
parade in
Irish
the
people.
country. It is. From
Corned
what
beef, cabbage in Savannah, Georgia. I don't see it.
from what I've
It's actually, I've looked it up, and it looks, they're saying now it is New York City's.
well, forever I've been told Savannah, Georgia's parade is bigger than New York City's.
Well, New York may have caught up.
Maybe they caught up. Maybe they caught up.
And it's funny because you go to another website, they give, oh, this isn't by size. There's just the best.
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, you could say, I mean, somebody's opinion could be, Kearney, New Jersey's parade is the best, and it is a pretty good one, by the way. That's why I said that one. But,
right.
Whatchamacallit. But,
but Kearney's now more Portuguese than it is Irish.
There's a lot of, you lived in Kearney for a while. How many Irish bars are in Kearney?
They're fading.
They're fading, but they're still there. So,
yeah.
I'm going to actually see.
And they've, there used to be more chipperies in Kearney than there are now.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would totally make sense.
But I think the thistle is still there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, New York still does it better than anybody. I don't think I've ever seen a parade.
Of course.
The way that they do. Although Chicago, they color the water green.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that scene in The Fugitive when they were filming and Harrison Ford's walking through the parade and you see the images of the water being green or whatever. And, but I still think, for my money, I don't think trying to think if I've ever gone to the St. Patrick's Day parade. I probably did once when I was way younger, when it was just, hey, it's amateur day and let's, try and drink in as many places as possible, and you have to finish it at McSorley's and whatever. But it's one of the Staten Island St. Patty's Day parade was always a big deal for us growing up on Staten Island, because it was everybody just swarmed to that area. You started out at Jody's Club Forest, and everybody drank until they're falling down, and you go out and you're trying to walk around and trying to hit as many bars as possible. And I remember when I lived over that way, so it was easier for me to get to. My sister used to live down the street from the route of the parade for like a couple of years. And when I was actually talking to her, we'd actually meet up at her house and then go, walk up the street to meet up with the parade. So it was pretty cool.
We used to go to, in high school, we used to go over to the St. Patrick's Day parade, of course, end up, you can't go to New York City for the parade and not end up at McSorley's at some point during the day.
I'll say one thing. When I started working in the city, I started I think in February or something. So my first St. Patrick's Day when I was working in the city, I swore I would never work in the city on St. Patrick's Day again. Because here you are, nice shoes, a suit, carrying a briefcase. You're stepping over people, puddles of things you don't know what's.
Yeah, you don't want to step in that shit.
You don't want to identify it.
It's like SantaCon.
Yeah,
it's like SantaCon when they have it in the city. Like
I gotta be honest with you, SantaCon's probably a little worse.
But it's funny because my wife and I made the mistake one time of going to see the tree and forgetting that it was SantaCon. Like I hadn't looked, and all of a sudden I'm like, "What is all that?" And I'm like, "Oh
no, right?
No,
like, this is not good." Because it doesn't matter what time you're in the city and you leave, you're encountering people who have been drinking since 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
doesn't matter. Like you could go into the city at 10 a.m. and be like, "Oh, all right, we'll get a train at 1 and it'll be fine." There's drunks on the train at 1 o'clock who's slobbering over. It's just a bad scene. You just have to avoid New York that day, which is horrible.
Oh yeah, and this is you have to avoid the people with the shirts "Kiss Me, I'm Irish."
Oh yeah.
Because they're running up to you, and it's like,
no. Take it easy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Chill.
Right. You don't want to be like, I got something on my lip. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, I got a thing.
They don't care.
Before COVID, of course, today being the 5-year anniversary of COVID, or was it yesterday? I don't remember. I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
The shutdown.
The shutdown was the day after St. Patrick's Day.
That's
right.
The
day before St. Patrick's Day, something like that.
The day before St. Patrick's Day. That's right. Because I remember it was a beer dinner at Paragon was the last thing that they did, and then the next day they shut down.
You're right. Yeah, it was. It was because it was St. Patrick's Day was a Tuesday. The shutdown was Monday, so it was the 16th. Yeah.
Right. So I'm losing my train of thought here. That's good. I'm only.
Walking up to you with "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" and
Oh
church.
yeah. I think before the pandemic, you could say something like that, and people would be like, oh, "All right, whatever." Now they go, "Oh, he's got COVID."
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe you can walk around, just put the mask on, and you should.
It depends on how drunk the guy is and how pretty the girl is, or vice versa. How drunk the girl is and how good looking the guy is.
Fair point.
With guys, it really does. How drunk the guy is doesn't matter how pretty
I didn't say they had to be very pretty. I said how pretty they were.
I think that's an irrelevant measure.
And when you're drunk, guy or girl, the opposite sex looks better without having to look.
Oh, you're talking about beer goggling?
That's a good point. Well, it's funny. You're talking about the "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" shirts. I'm looking for shirts for the Atlantic City Beer Music Fest for in a couple of weeks.
Kiss me, I'm drunk.
Yeah, well, no. I actually found one which I think I'm going to get. It says, "I'm glad I took out the extended warranty on my liver," which I thought was, that works.
Exactly.
And there's other questionable ones on this site, and I'm like, I don't know. I started rattling off a list. I'm like, no, I can't buy all of these. This is just, it's too obscene. Some of them are just like outlandish.
Some of the shirts are
a couple.
Really,
it was either last year. I think it was last year. I saw a couple of guys walking around, middle-aged guys walking around with shirts that say something. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what it says, but it's along the lines of "Kiss me, I have a dad bod." Okay,
I've seen that.
All right, and there were girls. Not supermodel girls, right? But very attractive women, like coming up to them, and whether they were just flirtatious and whatever, and that was fine. But they were getting attention, is my point. Right. And then there were a couple of girls walking around with "I love a good dad bod" T-shirts.
Really interesting. Yep. Well, I saw one today, and
I pushed right past that.
I did nothing. No. I just looked. I observed.
I saw a shirt today that said, "Ask me about our blowjobs for cocktails program." On the show. It was great. I'm like, no, I would never get that. I could never pull that one off.
Couldn't do that. No, not at all.
No. But some of them, no.
One shirt I do want to get, and I love this shirt because it really makes people think. It says, "Definitely not a cop."
Oh, I like that.
Definitely not a cop.
Definitely not a cop.
There you go. We got a couple of comments. I just want to throw them up really quick. Brian Boak said, "On a bus trip with no beer, or on a bus." I said trip. On a bus with no beer. Hope to have a beer in an hour. There you go, Brian. Cool.
Yeah, if you're on a bus and there's no bathroom,
Cheers.
Not a good idea to have a beer on it.
No.
Cheers. But no.
And it's not a bus trip if there's no bathroom.
Right.
This is true.
Correct.
You're just on a bus.
You're just on a bus at that point. And then Mark McAteer, how are you, Mark? Boston has to be up there. Boston is up there. Yeah, I just did a little research too. According to
gotta be 2 or 3.
According to a couple of sites that I looked at, New York is now number 1. It is the largest. Savannah's number 2.
Yeah.
Boston's number 3.
Sure.
So Chicago's number 4.
Yeah.
And in the top 10, to be quite honest with you, is Pearl River, New York.
Yeah.
And that's a tiny town. And it's up there. It's up. Maybe it's the top 20. It's higher than you think the town of Pearl River, New York would be. Let's put it that way.
And Philadelphia's in the top 10.
Philadelphia's up there too. Yeah. So
and Atlanta and New Orleans.
You know what?
Brian's leaving New York City. He said.
You know what's funny? I never think of Philly for the St. Patty's Day parade.
Yeah.
Despite all the green.
No, but honestly, right?
Yeah, neither would I.
Boston, New York, Chicago, right? Those are the 3 cities that you really think of. And never think of Philly for the St. Patty's Day parade. That's interesting.
Yep, but they are there. Yeah, and you wouldn't think Savannah.
You wouldn't. I until somebody told me years ago. Which
gave me 50 guesses. There's no way I would have picked that one.
No,
because years ago I was involved with Defiant. You know that. And we always had a huge celebration at. For the St. Patty's Day parade in Pearl River. It was the high holy day at Defiant, right? And but there were a couple of guys there that worked at Defiant, and a couple of guys from the town that were in pipe and drum bands and so forth and so on. And they all every year would travel down to the Savannah St. Patrick's Day parade because it was that big, and that's what they did. That's where they went. So. So that's when I started hearing about all this. But it's been a while since I was up there. So when did you say COVID? It's right about there. So
one of the other sites had listed in the top 10 Denver.
I believe Denver is in the top 10 too. I do
Yeah,
believe
which
it is.
that's
Not another town that I would think of for St. Patty's Day. Other
No.
parades, yes, or events,
All right,
but
let's think about this.
any excuse to drink.
That's it. That's what it is.
beer
That
town.
is 100% what it is.
Okay. All right.
Not sure. Doug Smith just said Boston is bigger than Savannah. John Fladung. It attracts about 1 million. Savannah 350. Chicago 700. Doug, I was just looking at a website. That's all. So the website's wrong.
Yeah.
I was only speaking, and I prefaced
Those
what I said
websites.
by I've heard. I haven't done the research myself. But
Wikipedia
You were
is
doing
also
research.
so accurate.
the bottom line is,
Always.
yeah. Savannah. My point though. Savannah's up there, and you would not expect it to be. You would expect New York. You expect Boston. You expect Chicago. You know, you don't expect Savannah, Georgia, right?
No.
So, but I didn't
don't-
mean to
you
put
don't-
down Boston, Doug.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You got somebody's Irish up.
Yeah.
I got Doug's Irish up. Sorry. I love you, Doug. You know that. But in any event, so cheers to all the St. Patrick's Day parades.
That's right. Cheers.
And the
All right.
people that survived.
And the people that survived. There you go. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Now, a couple things. Now, let's go back to beer for a second. It is a beer podcast.
What?
Well, not that we weren't talking about beer with parades and everything else. Doug Smith just said really quick. He said, "Been to New York City, Boston parades. Man, I've never been to a Boston St. Patty's Day parade. I'd love to. You know how much everybody." Yeah, as much as I talk about it, everybody on this podcast right now, the three of us, knows how much I love Boston. But
Same.
yeah, I got to get up there. But yeah, I've been to New York. I would love to get to Savannah too. I want to check it out. I want to see what it's all about.
I'd love to get
cheers on there.
to Savannah, period.
Well, that too. Yeah,
The weather's probably better for the parade.
I think so.
Same.
Just a little bit.
Because there's two things. One, the food scene in Savannah is amazing, from what I
Right.
hear. But also, it's one of the two big cities that has all that history, and also open container.
Oh.
There's a certain area where between the water and this one line, you can walk around with an open container.
Interesting.
There you
Whereas in New Orleans, it doesn't matter where the hell you are.
Right. Most of the state is dry. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to Atlanta, but I was in Rome, Georgia, covering what was I covering? It was an Ultimate Fight. It wasn't UFC. It was somebody else. And the only action in town that had liquor licenses that you could get a drink was the hotel bar that we stayed at and the Hooters. That was it.
And Gooders is gone now.
Right. And I said to the woman, I said, at the hotel bar, I said, is there anything going on in town? Is there a bar, whatever? She says, well, we have karaoke tonight. I said, well, that's fantastic. I don't feel like singing. I'd like to drink. Is there anything to, well, we have the bar and then you could go to Hooters. I'm like, nah, I'll stick
I'm
with
fine.
I'm good with the Hooters. But I mean, it was nothing. Nothing.
Tell you, Athens has got a good drinking scene.
Yes.
Well, it's
Well,
a college town. Yeah.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, just for anybody out there that just tuned in right at that moment, he means Athens, Georgia, not Athens, Greece.
Right.
Although they probably do have a decent drinking scene in Athens, Greece. That's just not what he was
But
referring.
probably not beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering the best beer you could probably. Well, I don't know if they have a craft beer scene, but Mythos is like the.
They do. Greece does have a little bit of a craft beer. It's small, but it's there. It's definitely there because I've had.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. It's small, but it's there.
Maybe not.
I think we got our opening for next week. Anyway, moving along. Doug Smith just said, Savannah is great. It's like a mini New Orleans. Been to Savannah a few times. Cool
Small,
old town.
mini.
Yeah, I would love to get there. Absolutely. Yeah. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to get back to New Orleans, though. I want to go back to New Orleans and really hit the bar and music scene right.
Love that town. Buddy of mine works at Paragon. He's going down with a couple of his kids and stuff. They do like an annual pilgrimage down there. That's a great town. I'm sorry. The music scene is phenomenal. The food is unbelievable.
Stupid.
The drinks, all of it. And honestly, you really have to go for a short period of time. It's not a place you go for a week. It's a place you go 3-4 days. You get it in, you get out. I mean, there is nothing like having a beignet and a cup of
Cafe du Monde.
Cafe du Monde.
Yeah.
That's it. And go get yourself a po' boy from Mother's. You're good to go.
There you go.
No better.
Grab a muffaletta while you're.
That's one time. That's one thing we were upset at. Not to change that subject, but it was the Dine in Belmar this past Sunday, and Raging Cajun is over here, right on 35. And last year, and they have amazing gumbo. They have very, very good food. I love Raging Cajun. Right. When you go there for,
is that the place? Is that the place that's on
35?
35?
It's right on 35.
I've eaten there. That's right. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic Cajun food. And last year they had a food truck in their driveway. You still went inside for all the food, right? But they had a food truck in the driveway. So after you got your food, when you came back out before you left, they were doing beignets out of the food truck.
Oh, nice.
All right. So I was looking forward to. I'm eating the gumbo. I'm going to have good when we get there, and I'm going to have a couple beignets when I get there. They didn't have the food truck this year. Damn it! Couldn't get my what did I call them last week? Beige nuts.
Beige nuts, yeah.
Beige nuts, yeah.
No, see, I went with my son who's 20, so we couldn't do much of the drinking scene. He's also not into live music.
What?
I will beat that into him.
Oh, you better do something about that, dude.
My son's the same way. It took him one band, and he was like, "Nah, this is not for me." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. So
it's a different generation. Yeah. They're not drinking. They're not partying. Yeah. They're not, whatever. They're doing different things to have fun, but it's not what we grew up with.
It's not our stuff.
It's not. I've slowly convinced my son. He's going to be 25 this year. He is drinking. He is partying. Respectfully, responsibly, and he does. He is slowly but surely liking more and more live music, and he's getting into the country scene a little bit. He loves Nashville. He's gone down there a couple times with his friends.
No, that's a good.
And he loves going on, walking on Broadway, and going in, and whenever there's a live band, not just a DJ or whatever. And most of the bars on Broadway.
On Broadway, you can go into
all live.
You can go into the burger. You can go into the burger.
They have live music,
and there's a band playing in the bathroom.
Exactly. So so he loved it. And he pulls out the phone. Exactly. He pulls out the phone the other day and he said, "Hey, Dad, look, the last time I was in Kid Rock's bar. Look," and he pulls it out, and I pulled out my phone. I'm like, "Yeah, well, here is this picture. Oh, yeah, I was there." And we were comparing Kid Rock bar notes.
That's funny.
So, but it was pretty funny. But in any event, I need some beignets because I missed them the other day.
Well, that's the go to New Orleans.
I got to go. I'm gonna have to. Jess, I got to go to New Orleans. I need a beignet. Right. Yeah, because there's not one between here and New Orleans, right? I got to go down there.
It just doesn't cut it.
Exactly. It's a pinch. It'll work.
Right. Yeah.
The Italian beignet.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I do love them. And now thanks, Hal. Now I got to get down a point. Go to the boardwalk and get some Zeppelin's.
Yeah, but you're right near there, so it's.
I'm right here. Take me 10 minutes. I'll get down there.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right. So back to the beer question. What? All right. I'll ask both of you. One doesn't matter which one goes first. Which one of you goes first? There's a limited amount of styles of beer to drink on St. Patrick's Day, and you can drink any beer. And I would venture to say that the most beer that is drank on St. Patrick's Day doesn't even qualify as Irish beer. No. I mean,
that's
like green colored Bud Light and
right.
stuff like that, right?
Stuff with dye in it,
right. So, but as far as the two traditional styles that kind of go back and forth, Irish red ales and dry Irish stouts, where do you lean? If you had to pick one or the other, if it's one or the other, can't do both. I do both, but and I'll explain in a minute. Where do you lean? All right, obviously Dave's pointing at his Guinness jersey that he's wearing.
Yeah, I lean towards stouts.
So stouts, Al.
Same. I would rather have a dry Irish stout than an Irish red. I mean, I would drink either or.
Oh yeah.
But certainly the dry Irish stout, because it's not super heavy, it's not strong. You can have a few, so that's definitely something. That's what would gear me.
And doing a car bomb with a red ale doesn't really work.
It doesn't work. Not so much. No. Brian Boak just weighed and he said a red ale. He does a red ale. So there you go. Okay. I'll tell you what I do. My first beer I have on St. Patrick's Day, and I'll do this next Monday. Okay. My first beer that I have is a Smittix. Okay.
Is what?
It's a Smittix.
A what?
It's a Smittix.
You mean one of these?
One of those. Smittix Red Ale. Yes, exactly.
That's my second beer.
Exactly. Well, that's why I brought this conversation up now. See, I'm nothing but a good planner. But in any event, I have one Smittix. All right. Then I will have 2 or 3 blacksmiths.
Right.
All right. Which is a black and tan made with Smittix and Guinness.
Rather than Harp.
So float the Guinness on top of the Smittix. I love them. I could drink them the rest of the night, but it gets to be a bit much. So
I use proper glassware.
Yeah, very nice glassware. Very nice. I'm actually not drinking out of that tonight. I ran, but there's 2 right here, so they're always in the shot. So
So
I have 2 or 3.
I'm stumping for the sponsor tonight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. No, but I'll have 2 or 3 blacksmiths, and then I'll switch to just Guinness. There you go. So that's how I usually roll on St. Patrick's Day. I like them both. Like I said, if I have to pick one or the other, like somebody tells me, hey, you can only drink one of the 2 of them on this St. Patrick's Day, it's a stout. It's a stout too.
I can't.
But by a small margin. It's by a small margin. I can drink more Guinness than I can.
But I also think because people start in the morning on St. Patrick's Day, traditionally they're drinking a Guinness, they're drinking a stout, they're drinking something that sort of fortifies you to keep you going through the day. I think the red ale is sort of, all right, I don't care. I'm going to go on a bender and, you know. Right.
And so
I'm starting at 9 and I'm ending at 9 the next morning.
Not for nothing, John. I can't regiment my my drinking activities. Is that precisely?
Well, no, I don't. I don't.
3 of these.
I don't regiment. No, I don't regiment them. That's why I said 2 or 3, and I'll tell you why, and you'll know why. Okay, because on St. Patrick's Day next week, I will be going to the Irish Rail in Manasquan, New Jersey. Okay, and who will be behind the bar pouring me my beer?
The lovely Jess.
That would be her. So she will regiment my beer drinking activities. There you go. Exactly.
How come the bartender has cut you off? Well, I know her.
Exactly. Because
she knows him.
She doesn't want to have to deal with me when she gets home later. That's right.
That's right. Well, I don't blame her.
Exactly. There you go. All right, Dave, put that back up again. What are you drinking for your second beer? Let's throw that up.
I'm drinking the Smittix here. This is the Smittix Red Ale.
I don't know. Do you like Smith? What do you like better, Smittix or Smithwicks? What do you like better?
Well, it depends because this is probably a Smithwicks because Smittix is, that's usually on tap.
True story.
I really do want to get to Kilkenny. Everyone else has killed them, so I might as well.
I was going to say Cartman's the only one that hasn't. So.
But no, I would love this because we spent the whole time either in Killarney and on the west coast of Ireland, and then to Dublin. So never really did get to Kilkenny. Not at all did we get to Kilkenny. So I do want to get to Kilkenny one day and drink.
One of these days you'll get to Kilkenny.
Yep.
Right. And Cartman will say, "Speak my thought."
And drink it straight from the teat, as they would say,
or the tetas. But more on that later. My second beer is, and I said it's another Treehouse, but it's a little bit more in line with St. Patrick's Day. So it's a red IPA from Treehouse called Sherman.
That's a nice beer.
It's a very nice beer. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
That was in trade.
I did transport it back for you.
You did.
In trade. So,
you muled it.
I muled it. There you go.
So Doug's got a comment up, and I've got a comment on his comment. So
all right, so let's put it up. There we go. Doug said first he said stout. Got to.
Yes, yeah.
And then he said can't find Bass Ale anywhere. I honestly I've been having I see it from here and there, but I don't see it a lot. So
no.
A black and tan used to be Guinness and Bass, of course, half and half.
But I've always disagreed with that, and I know that's the case. I know it's the tradition, but Bass is from Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire, England.
Yeah, Bass is English.
If you told any Irishman that you were making a black and tan with Bass, you'd get shillelagh'd.
Shillelagh'd and a half.
The proper one is the Harp.
Yeah, Harp is the proper. Now, Harp is the proper for St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. Bass is the proper, even though it's an Irish stout. Bass is the proper for half and half, a black and tan pint in England. So
now, did you ever watch 3 sheets. Rosé Lamprey.
Snakebite is Guinness and Bulmer's cider.
Yes, that is correct.
I haven't
Never
heard.
done it.
Never done it. I should say that I've heard of a snakebite being Guinness and cider, but not Bulmer's cider. So traditional Bulmer's.
Did you ever see 3 sheets?
Yeah.
In one of the bars, he was in Ireland. In one of the bars he went into, he was talking about a black and tan. So we call that a special.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do to make a black and tan is they pour the harp, they put it under the Guinness tap, boom, boom, and that's it. It's just a splash of Guinness in it.
It's a splash of Guinness.
So I don't know if he was. So you don't know if this is actually the case in Ireland, or you just happen to be in a bar that's does it differently, or they were fucking with them. You don't know.
Like, so it wasn't half. I mean, they filled the harp up pretty much all the way, and then just put a splash of Guinness on top.
Yeah, it was just like floating Guinness on a harp.
Did you research this at all while you were over in Ireland a couple of years ago?
No, I didn't. I was too busy drinking just pints of Guinness.
Well, that's why. I mean, because you were busy keeping up with your well, that too, but you were busy keeping up with the contests that we were having.
Well, but the problem was, it's like, and I've said this a few times on the show. Guinness over there is a meal in a glass.
There's the red IPA. It's a very, very, very pretty.
It's a dark red. Yeah,
it's a dark red right there.
It's almost
proper glass as well.
But no, the Guinness over there, it is filling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, yeah.
Like
Guinness in Ireland is completely different than Guinness here.
You drink a Guinness here. When I order a Guinness here, if they're doing a proper pour of Guinness, which is almost impossible in this country, but if they're trying to do the proper pour, because the beer is not thick enough to do a proper pour here, but if they're trying it, I order 2 at a time. Because the first one is just, woof, that's gone. And, so that I can settle in on my second one.
You don't have to, you can enjoy it. You don't have to wait for them to come back again with the order in the second one.
Exactly. It's because it's
not a bad idea actually. Because I mean, let's put it this way: Guinness is what 4.5%. It's not high at all. It's low. Yep. So I mean, you can do that, right? It's a sessionable milk stout.
Yeah.
Right. So you can do that. You can order 2. Down the one and quench your thirst, so to speak, and then enjoy the second one, so to speak.
Right. 4.2. It's actually a 4.2.
4.2. 4.2. I was wrong. I was a little higher.
That's nice.
Yeah. So and it's over here, the way they brew it here, it's just like black water. Oh, we're back to New Orleans.
Keep on rolling.
Back to music.
It all comes around in a circle.
Mississippi Moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Gotta go. I want to go see them this year. I think they're PNC, are they?
Yes, they are.
Same here.
All right.
Same here. And, oh no, I'm not going. I'm actually not going to that one.
I was talking to Al actually.
But. No, I am. I am not. I'm actually. What am I getting tickets for this week? James Taylor. End of Labor Day weekend.
All right. Fair enough.
Very nice.
Which is a Saturday. For some reason, all of the concerts that I want to go to this summer,
Saturdays,
all falling on Fridays and Saturdays.
It's weird. It's weird. I've been looking at that too. It's like Fridays and Saturdays, but it just works every Friday night. So I know every Friday concert that I want to go, I'm going by myself. I'm going stag.
Or let us know. Maybe.
Or exactly. But
there's one show I really wanted to go to. What was it? The Lumineers with the Kills opening.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's in Atlantic City on a Tuesday.
I thought they were doing the Pony Summer Stage too.
Are they?
I believe they are.
Oh, if they are, I'm definitely getting tickets.
I believe they are. Yeah.
Definitely getting tickets.
They are. I would look that up because I'm going to go to Gary Clark Jr. at the Stone Pony Summer Stage, but I'm not.
Right.
My buddy and I, we were talking about it last week. You guys met him, Mark. I said,
sure.
What do you want to do? You want to get tickets because it's the day after 4th of July. Mm-hmm. So it's a Saturday. I'm like, he goes, bro, let's go down for the day. We drink. We have a good time. Let's sit on the boardwalk. We listen. And then I'm like, I'm in.
I can't tell you how many concerts that I've done that. Especially on a Friday night, I didn't get tickets to. Jess went to work. I'm sitting home. I'm like, screw this. I take the train up and I walk down there. I'll just go have a couple of beers and sit on the boardwalk and hang out. There's undoubtedly 100 people sitting right there when I'm talking to them. It's a good night.
Same thing with Yacht Rock. They're playing the first Saturday of August, which I thought was going to be Manahopkin. And I would have to go to that. Turns out no Manahopkin this year.
No Manahopkin.
So, no, they canceled it, which I'm a little surprised about. But I was at Icarus. God, it was the beginning of February, and I was interviewing John for the AC Beer Fest, and he and Jason and I were talking, and Jason's like, "Oh yeah, Manahopkin canceled." I'm like, "What?" he's like, yeah, I just got the email from Vic, and this, that, and I texted him and I said, Vic, is this true? He said, yeah. Apparently, they were not making enough money to help the charity, because all of it goes to the first responders there, the police and fire and ambulance, and they decided to cancel it. And it's a town-wide event, so I was shocked.
But I mean, it is, and no. I guess they're paying certain people to be there because all the beer's donation. All the beer's donation.
Right. So I'm guessing they didn't make enough in ticket sales with the beer for them to make it,
because they have to pay for certain things. They have to pay for the
band that's there, and and there's a couple of acts and whatever and this and that. So maybe they weren't making enough money. Maybe buying the ticket to get in to drink the beer wasn't enough, and they had a beer truck outside of that area that if you wanted like Butter Coors Light, you could get it, and people maybe they were buying that. I don't know, but yeah, he said no, it's not. It's
not done. It's just this year they're stepping back, or they're done.
I don't know. He made it seem like they canceled it permanently, but again, it might be just a year-to-year thing. You look, I think beer festivals are becoming a problem now.
It is, and I do want to get into that. I got one other thing to talk about St. Patrick's Day, but I do want to talk about. And we'll get into. That's a perfect segue to get into craft beer news.
You get into it. I'm going to finish this and go grab another beer.
You do that. I'll say it to Dave while you grab a beer, and then I'll refresh your memory when you get in.
I'm trying to find Lumineers at Summer Stage. They're not showing the Lumineers being at Summer Stage this year. So
I remember seeing it. I do remember seeing it.
I'm not seeing it.
I do remember seeing it.
So I gotta look. They're going to be at City Field.
The Lumineers are going to be at City Field. Oh, there's one concert that. Here's the thing, and I've said this to you before, and you know this. I've never, ever seen Billy Joel. As many concerts as I've ever attended, I've never seen Billy Joel. And
I've seen him once.
See Billy Joel,
but he wasn't by himself, so it was watered down a little bit.
He's at City Field with Sting. Okay. Oof. Now I've seen the Police twice, so I've seen Sting. All right, but I've never seen Billy Joel. But I would love to see Billy Joel with Sting. I've seen some concerts, right? I've seen video footage of some concerts with Billy Joel and Sting.
You've seen some shit.
Well, that too, but I've seen it, and it's a great show that the two of them together put on. It's amazing. So I really want to see that. Nosebleed tickets right now, not resale, just straight from the box office, are in the high threes, close to $4.
Yeah.
Screw that. I'm sorry. I love Billy Joel. I ain't paying $400 to go like this. What's he saying? Yeah, not happening. Not happening.
Yeah. No, when I saw Billy Joel, like I said, he wasn't by himself.
Was it one of the Elton John concerts?
Yeah, I had to see him with Elton John. that was a lot, and we were on the floor.
We didn't get into what I was talking about. Dave said he didn't see the Lumineers at Summer Stage.
Oh, okay.
You're drinking a 30-minute.
Yes. So this is the beer. Now it's funny.
I haven't had it yet. How is it?
Okay. So it's fantastic.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it is absolutely my go-to tailgate beer, because as Sam explained it,
I thought Trojan Seahorse was your go-to.
No, it is.
No, it's not. It's 8.5%. There's no way it's your go-to tailgate beer.
All right, it's my last beer before I walk in.
Hey, all right, there you go.
It's your walk-in. It's the walk-in beer.
But this is essentially, as Sam Calagione described it, a Mick Ultra with flavor, and that's how he explained it.
Fair enough.
Now, there are some on here, I won't mention names because I was actually going to put it in the glass that I have, that people are saying it tastes like boat. It is nothing like boat. No. In fact,
if it's a Milk Ultra with flavor, there's no way it's close to the flavor of the boat.
That's exactly right. So apparently people were complaining to he who shall not be named. And
well, you can say him once. You can't say him 3 times.
I'm not going to say him at all. Because I listen, I love him, but I'm not going to say him because I don't want him to mystically appear. But anyway, putting it in a defunct Ross glass because trying to keep it the nautical theme. So there's a boat on here, and there's a all right. So people were complaining that it tasted like boat, and he messaged me like not too long. Probably 2 days after I interviewed Sam in January or whatever about this beer, and he said, "Yeah, they're saying it tastes like boat," and I said, "Absolutely not. Boat tastes like beer. Like boat is the beer drinker's beer, right? If you're going to drink beer, that's the beer.
As
Like
as the man
I
who
should-
as the
I
man
should
who
try it.
you should try one, Dave. You should try one. Yes.
right.
As the man who shall remain nameless says, it's the session ale for double IPA drinkers.
This
That's what
this is a variant on the oh god, this is essentially a variant on the Sequench that they did.
okay.
It's just not sour.
Exactly, it's just
not
not
that
sour.
tartness.
There is a little bit of tartness to it, but it's not sour. It absolutely does not taste like boat. And I said to Augie, I'll mention his name once. I'll bring a can down to you, and you could do a comparison. There's no way. In fact, Sam complimented Augie in the interview because that's it.
You're cut
I wrote
off.
it down. I wrote it down. Right, don't do it again. The two of them, when they make beers, they think like chefs. They taste the food, they want to duplicate it into a beer. So, definitely not. Like, Sam took his beer that he made and said, I need the Sequench, and we need to change this into something that works, that's not sour, that people aren't buying. Because I'll be honest, I go into an arena after drinking, all afternoon at a concert, and usually there's a stovepipe can of Sequench, and I'll grab that because that sourness, is perfect to sort of come down.
Yeah, it's almost like a beer and a lemonade or limeade, actually.
Exactly. And you're drinking it over the course of time because it's in a stovepipe can. You're not downing it. You're just sort of like, easing off of it. And that's what you get out of this. But the fact that now, seeing stupid me, blind as a bat, I have to actually put on my glasses because it's too small.
The youngest guy here.
Yeah, but my
But I'm wearing.
Yeah, mine are downstairs. I left them down.
95 calories, 3.6 carbs, 4% alcohol.
Jeez.
So you're talking about a summer beer that you can bang back in the parking lot. You're not overwhelmed. Right. You could drink 4 or 5 of them, and then walk into a show. And I said to him, if you have this at concert venues, you're going to crush it. Now, the Grateful Dead can, the Grateful Dead beer that he did, the Juicy Pale Ale, it's upstairs. It's not down here. That's a really delicious beer, but it's got a little bit more juice to it. I think it's around 5%. Right. But this is definitely something, if you're looking for a light, beer with some flavor to it, and it's not going to offset you, this is the beer to drink.
Gotcha.
But it's not a boat.
One comment I would throw up really quick. The lovely Jessica Barbera just commented, "Oh man, Alizon, I definitely should be watching."
My girl. Thank you, Jess.
You should be. She should always be watching.
She's not here. No, she's actually working tonight. So there you go. So clearly it's not that busy. So.
Well, what we'll have to do is we'll have to do a taste test. Yeah. Because there is a concert that Al and I are both going to, I believe, right? You're going to the Toto concert?
Yes. Oh yeah,
yes. Yeah. I'll be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, all three of us.
Listen, that's going to be a fun show.
It's going to be a great show.
Oh, Men at Work and Christopher Cross.
I just said hi, Al. There you go.
Hi, Jess. I have seen Toto 3 times. I've never saw Men at Work, and I've never seen Christopher Cross. Yeah. So I'm really excited, and everybody tells me
it should be a lot of fun.
I have to see Men at Work because Colin Hay is like amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't lost anything from
I'll tell you this. I haven't seen Toto, but I've seen Steve Lukather.
Oh, Lukather is the things that people don't know about Steve Lukather, and if you ran down all of Toto
for all of Toto. Look, Michael Jackson's Thriller album is Toto with Michael Jackson singing lead.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly right.
And one song with Eddie Van Halen playing.
No, but that's Quincy. That's Quincy calling
Quincy Jones, 100%.
But if you listen to, you want to follow a really good account on YouTube and you want to watch great videos of Rick Beato.
Rick Beato is amazing. I love Rick
amazing. Beato. He interviews everybody, and he does. I think he's interviewed Steve Lukather probably 3 or 4 times.
I was going to say 7 or 8, to be honest with you.
But every time he has him on, it's easily 2 hours. And when Lukather tells the story of human nature,
it's great.
And doing
that, depicting that makes the song.
Right.
That's the glue.
Hold on. Right. Well, that's what he said. But the Beat It thing is great because everybody thinks that it's Eddie Van Halen's solo, and it's actually Lukather playing on the entire song, and actually had to duplicate Eddie's solo again. Apparently, Eddie recorded it too heavy. And so Quincy called him and said, I got to get this on, pop stations. I'm not going for the rock crowd. I need this toned down. So Lukather went back into the studio and redid Eddie's solo, note for note, but just toned it down.
So the solo everybody hears
Interesting.
is Steve Lukather.
Cool.
Is actually Steve Lukather, which is wild.
Eddie
And then-
wrote the solo. Steve Lukather,
right.
the
The hook about human nature is that, and he tells the story in the video, is that what session artists need to understand is common tones. So if you know the common tone that you're playing in, you can make things work in any song. And he said, when I first got Human Nature put in front of me, he goes, and he plays it for Rick Beato. He goes, all I thought it was this. And he just starts playing the 2 or 3 notes. And Rick Beato, you see the look on Rick Beato's face.
Just a little bit of picking. It's all he was doing. He was sitting there just picking at the guitar.
And it's the whole
all
song.
he was doing. It's the whole, it's the
and it's
the
all
song.
underneath.
Without that on there, it's not the song.
Right.
It's
Correct.
the whole song. No offense to Michael, of course.
No.
But his voice obviously makes the song too. But Steve Lukather's good picking guitar, and
Toto was amazing, but they get a bad rap because of the whole yacht rock thing. And if you haven't seen the documentary on yacht rock on Max, I encourage you to go watch it because they're featured a lot of it in the documentary, and they're actually angry about it because they're like, yeah, we just wanted to be in a rock. We were session artists, we got jobs, we just wanted to play music, and then we decided, hey, we can do all of this better than these guys, and formed Toto, and then did the songs. So it's kind of wild how it is, and the Steely Dan at the end of it is I'm going to.
Watch it. Just watch it. I've seen it. Watch it.
Yeah.
I've watched it. I've actually watched it 4 or 5 times now. But it's fantastic. But I'll ask you this question: What Toto song has been covered the most?
Oh, I would think either Rosanna or Africa.
Nope.
Really? Hold the Line?
Nope.
Hold the line. So those are the 3 biggies.
So it's something that nobody would really know. Georgie Porgy?
Really? Georgie Porgy. Jazz artists have covered Georgie Porgy. And many of them.
That makes a lot of sense.
But I saw them, they opened for Journey.
Oh, yeah.
So Journey was supposed to, this was coming out of the pandemic. Journey was supposed to be doing a tour with Billy Idol. And then Idol, something happened. He got surgery on his throat and he had to pull out. And Toto comes in and says, we'll jump in. So I said to my wife, I said, do you still want to go? Because it's at Prudential Center. I said, I'll sell the tickets if you don't want to go. She said, no, I want to go. We had the most perfect seats because my wife is short, but I had floor seats. And you know that first row, when you're coming down like the center of the Prudential Center, as if you're going to go walk out to the floor and there's all the floor seats. And the stage is a little elevated.
Yep. We
had 3 seats. There was somebody sitting next to me, but my wife and I had the other 2 seats, and it was perfectly elevated where if somebody stood, she could still see the stage.
Still see it.
Sat down. They were the most
perfect.
Nice.
And I think I paid $100 a piece for them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, I've got to thank you, Al, because looking at the Lumineers, they are playing in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park. Probably about half to a third the price of Citi Field.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't go to Citi Field. And listen, I love Citi Field, but good Lord, for the concerts, come on, stop yourself.
Yeah,
I don't want to sit in the first base dugout to see the band 7 miles away.
I gotta be honest with you. And the seats I had at Citi Field for Foo Fighters last year were actually pretty damn good. They were, and they were they weren't on the floor.
Queens. See, for me, like
I know.
That's
that's the thing.
Easily 2 hours.
I don't know. I don't want to go there. If I can go see them somewhere else, I'm going somewhere else. Right.
See, what they should do, they used to do this. They don't do it anymore. There used to be a ferry. There was a fast ferry from Staten Island that used to take you right to Citi Field. Or used to take you right to Shea. I mean, this was back when Shea was over.
Well, it took you to the marina right on the other side of the
right to the marina. You get off. You watch a ball game. It was a certain time that they left. So sometimes, 8th inning, you had to leave because the boat was going to leave. The game went long. But, excuse me, that's what they should do again. That ferry was awesome. 30 minutes. You sit on it. No traffic. No nonsense. That would make it more palatable for me. I can't do 2 hours, highways that are a mess, wreck my car.
I'll be honest with you. They haven't done it yet, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen now. But they were talking about putting a ferry in here in Belmar. That's going to go to New York and go to New York Waterway over into the marina over there by by City Field.
No,
It would actually
note to self here. Do not bring up City Field ever again, because you will not finish your point.
It would actually be faster for you, Al, to drive down here to me in Belmar and us to take that up there. Anyway, go ahead.
Samurai, Dave, I would 100% do Philly. That would be
well. There's another two other reasons for it. One is on a Friday night.
Oh, perfect.
It's also on International Talk.
Oh, there you go. Ahoy.
You know what? You love that day.
I love that
friggin' day.
You know I've got a full friggin'
I have
costume.
to take this call for a second, so I'm going to put it on speaker because it's the producer of the program. Yes, Joe.
Hey, I'm sorry to bother you again.
That's all right. I'm live on a podcast, so go ahead.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I'll text you.
All right, text me if you can.
That's what I want on the podcast.
No. I got you. All right. Bye.
It's not something he wants on the podcast.
No, because I know exactly what it is. So,
Oh, so you were, that was a challenge.
Of course it was. I'm drinking.
Oh,
that's
that's
my
awesome.
excuse.
No,
No, his. No, I'm not even going to say.
it's all good. I'm actually I just want to continue really quick. As far as Toto goes, again, I've seen Steve Lukather. I haven't seen Toto. I've seen Colin Hay. I haven't seen Men at Work, but I have seen Colin Hay. He is amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
That's why I'm excited. I'm excited.
And I haven't seen Christopher Cross, but I'm wondering if, because Christopher Cross is going to come out, he's going to play Ride Like the Wind.
Of course.
My question is Rick Moranis going to come out dressed as Michael McDonald and run out and sing his part?
Moranis lives in Manhattan. Maybe.
It's very possible.
Maybe.
Every time I wanted to go see Christopher Cross, he's playing on like a Tuesday in Morristown.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with the Tuesday? People have jobs. Like, can you play on a weekend or close to a weekend where maybe I could take a day off and make a 3-day weekend out of it?
Yeah.
I've avoided seeing Christopher Cross. He's got a great story of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, big hit. Then he kind of faded in the 80s and started doing all kinds of other stuff. The guy played for Black Sabbath one show. People don't, a lot of people don't know about that. He actually played for Black Sabbath. Tony Iommi apparently fell ill and he filled in. Like that.
Another person who played for Black Sabbath played for the shirt, the band on your shirt.
For
A
ELO?
lot of people don't realize that.
Who?
Yeah. Bevan.
The
drummer.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
Bevan was late in, or maybe it was just for Ozzy, but he was Ozzy's drummer for a bit.
Okay. Was that the? Oh, maybe that was when Bill Ward was not doing well.
It was maybe, but he was their drummer for a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know how long. It's like, yeah, if you went through all the bands and pulled a drummer from one band to play for Ozzy, it's not ELO you immediately go to.
Right.
I saw Black Sabbath once, and Ozzy was not singing lead.
Once.
I saw.
It was not Ozzy that was singing lead. Is my point.
You know what's funny? I was disappointed.
It was another one of their singers.
Oh,
No, it was Black Sabbath he played for, actually.
It wasn't not Joe Lynn Turner.
And you're right, he replaced Bill Ward.
Yeah, because Ward had issues with his heart and whatever, and there was insurance issues. That's why he played.
Yeah.
That's why he played drums. I remember that. I forgot who was the other singer of Black Sabbath?
Dio.
Oh, see, and now when it was Heaven and Hell, or when it was
Mm-hmm.
the original Black Sabbath?
No, Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell. Okay,
Yeah.
see, I missed that at Radio City, and I wanted to see that, and I was upset because I love Heaven and Hell is one of my favorite Black Sabbath albums. Could listen to it beginning to end 1,000 times. It's tremendous. I saw Black Sabbath with Ozzy at PNC. Got to be more than 10 years ago. Got to be 12, 13 years ago. And we're sitting in the parking lot, in the auxiliary parking lot, drinking. Two big incidents happened. While we're sitting there eating these enormous sandwiches and drinking, these guys in a pickup are sitting at tinted windows. We can't really see them because they're a little bit of a distance away, and it's sunny and, there's sort of the park like curved, whatever.
Right.
All of a sudden, 3 state police vehicles swarm the truck, grab the guys, they arrest them. They had cocaine in the truck. They were doing line. Somebody must have spotted it and alerted a trooper. Boom, they come in, handcuffs, whole thing, they arrest them. We were like, whoa, like they're not messing around.
They're not fucking around there. That's really.
Trying to hide our staff.
It's like,
Literally 20 minutes later, a short school bus pulls up, all in black, horns on the front. The doors open. 12 guys come stumbling out. Smoke follows them. They're all smoked. It was hilarious.
like
They
Cheech
were
and Chong.
"Dude, we're sorry. Come on, let's go." You know, there was
that's
just a
great.
complete mess. I was like, "All right, we're gonna have a good time." And then I don't even think we made it on the lawn. It was so packed that everybody was like, "You want to try and fight that?" I'm like, "I'm good right here. I can get to the bathroom. I can go get a beer. I don't have to deal with a crowd. I'm fine." So it was a shit show.
It was it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll pause on the music for a second.
Sure.
Let's talk about some craft beer news.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
So
kind of what you guys do on the show, right?
a little bit. So let's start with you. You just this past weekend, you just aired on your show. You just aired your interview, or one of your several interviews with Sam.
Right.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, actually tonight, he's at Barcade in Brooklyn. They're debuting the Juicy Pale Ale that they did with the collab with the Grateful Dead. Tomorrow night, they're going to be at
Which is my favorite Barcade, by the way, because it was the original one. But
right, because the Jersey City one is actually closing in 3 weeks, I think, or no, June. I think it's June. Their lease runs out.
We were talking to John a couple weeks ago when John Hall was on the show.
Right.
We got to get back to Jersey City before they actually close.
So
And he's actually going to do. They're going to do another Steelers beer before they close.
I heard that.
Yeah.
When I was commenting while I was drinking, and John.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So, tomorrow night he'll be at Brooklyn Bowl in Brooklyn. They're doing a special concert with a Grateful Dead cover band. Their longtime Grateful Dead historian is going to be there, and him and Sam are going to talk music and stuff. So I'm going to the event. And they're obviously celebrating this Juicy Pale Ale, which is going to be really cool. I think this ticket's still available. I think if you just go on brooklynbowl.com, you do a search for shows, they'll have it there. You can click and buy tickets for that. So that's a lot of fun. I always have a great time talking to Sam. He is he gives back. He his beers are great, but I love the fact that he ties music and beer into everything that he does. We mentioned it before about how he thinks like a chef when he's trying to create beers, and
I know somebody like that.
Innovative. Yeah, I know somebody like that too. But he's doing something.
Don't say it.
It's the first letter of my name. But anyway, they're always doing something, which I think is really cool. And him and his wife are actually speaking. I found this out very last minute before we did the interview. Him and his wife are speaking at the commencement ceremony at the school at which they met all those years ago, this boarding school.
Yeah.
And he told me a funny story. His wife graduated from there. He did not. He was let go, so to say, a few months before graduation and had to complete his education, I believe, at a public school. So, but he's been completely honored. And I think one of his kids went there. And it's just cool. It's always a good time to hang out with Sam. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. I've met him twice. The second time I met him was about 20 minutes after I was hanging out with Mr. Cook for about half an hour drinking Utopias, and I had 1.5 pours of Utopias, and I was already feeling it. And he probably had about 7, and he was fine. So I don't know how the man does it. So kudos to Jim Cook. But and that was the night that they decided
ironclad.
That was the night they decided to get in bed together. So so if you hate the fact, blame
he's talking about business. Yeah, no rumors, just business.
Yeah, they combine the companies. There you go.
Yeah,
but,
and still to this day is probably one of the best mergers in the beer business because they're both complementary. They both do different things, and they do them very well. And it seems to have worked for them so far. Yeah, they're shifting things and doing different things with different sort of alcoholic beverages. But I think those big companies, you have to start doing that because of the fact that we mentioned before. There's a generation before us that aren't drinking beer anymore, or they're staying away from it. Or they don't drink as much, or they're just not exploring it. They're drinking There's non-alcoholic options. I can't tell you how many breweries that I've talked to that are now trying to figure out how can we make a good non-alcoholic beer consistently? Do we need to buy equipment? Can we do it on our own? Should we just stick athletic beer, in the place and sell that, and this way we draw people in?
And I'd say that they're all good options, and that's one main option I think I've seen more or less everybody doing is
Right.
just buying, because it's, especially in New Jersey now, you can have other beverages, so you
Right.
can do that legally, and you can buy athletic beer and,
Right.
and put it in.
And I
But-
think if you're not going to invest the money, I think if you're going to do a non-alcoholic beer, if you're a brewery that's up and running already,
Okay.
if you're not going to do it the right way, if you're going to try and pull it out a different way or use your existing equipment, I mean, you really literally have to dedicate a tank solely to doing non-alcoholic beer.
You do.
can't just-
You do. You're
you
right.
can't go around and these 3 months out of the year we'll make non-alcoholic beer and the rest will make regular. You can't do that.
Can't do that.
So if you don't have the space or the money, the infrastructure to do it, it probably makes more sense. Let's buy a couple of cases of athletic beer. Let's get an assortment of stuff and have it in here as an option for people that come in and want to drink but don't want to drink alcohol. And for some, I know Chilton Mill had it when I was there last fall. They, one option, but it's an option. And so I think you're going to start seeing more breweries doing that. The cider, listen, I think if Jersey wants to make a serious game changer and really be innovative where there are different things that they can offer, and I've said this before, and I'm trying to have some conversations with people, that are a little bit more skilled at this than I am because
Right.
I come in like a hammer instead of being, finesse or whatever. But I think if New Jersey can do what New York does,
I would wish
It's
total they do.
game changer.
100%.
And it's complementary.
Mhm.
Everybody is, getting their piece of the pie. It's going to take some change. It's going to take somebody in Trenton talking to the Restaurant Association and saying, we need to do this because this business is bringing in X amount of tax dollars for us, and we have to keep the tax dollars rolling in.
Mhm.
But I think if they can do a legislative change where if you're using the majority of your ingredients in New Jersey, then you can carry other New Jersey products. And I would extend it to the restaurants as well that don't have liquor licenses. I would limit it. I would say you have to have or can only have wine from one winery in the state. There's plenty of them. You can pick and choose which one you want, right?
Mhm.
2 New Jersey beers. One of them, has to be, within your county. You got to pick one in your county and then one maybe outside the county. So
Mhm.
you're giving somebody an option. There aren't many cideries in New Jersey, but whatever. It's ironbound or whatever, this, that. But I think if you give those options to the small mom and pops,
Mhm.
in addition to giving them to the craft breweries in New Jersey, that's a game changer. Because
a
now
huge
when somebody comes in and they say, well, you know what? I don't like beer. Oh, but they have ironbound cider. They have, Tree City vodka. Well, I want a cocktail, with this. And again, I think the cocktail thing has to be very limited because that's where the restaurants and bars would say, hey, wait a second, hold on a second now. Now you're a de facto bar. It has to be just limited to maybe you can carry vodka, rum, maybe it's two spirits,
Mhm.
vodka rum, vodka gin, rum and whatever. I think if you do that, I think that's a way to be a game changer for some of these breweries that don't have options,
Right.
and they don't have a food truck and nearby or whatever. And hey, this is what we do. I mean, I know we were going to talk about it, but places like Brotherton that are closing,
Mhm.
other places that have closed around the state. I think there's a couple of things. I think one, I think in the case of Brother, I'll just speak for the Brotherton thing. The brothers wanted to get out. I think they were looking to sell. They had been exploring opportunities,
Mhm.
and nobody wanted to buy them. It's a big building. It's a lot of money, and I think people are seeing a downside of craft beer right now. And it's not really you have to be going into it for the right reasons. Are you going into it, to make a ton of money? That's not going to happen. Are you going
Well,
into it to maintain a business, and feed your clientele and whatever? Yeah,
Mhm.
then you can, where are you setting the bar? In other words,
Well,
right?
that's it. I mean, everybody says, oh, I mean, because there was the boom, right? But even
Mhm.
when the boom was happening, you're still not making like the bucks that everybody thought you were making. I mean the cliche, or you want to call it, or the tagline, if you will.
Right.
You want to make $1 million in the craft beer business. Start with 2 million.
Right.
Yeah. So, and
Same
it's I mean it's a joke, but it's not far off. All right.
No, it's not.
So
It's
you can make money, but you're not. It's not life changing money. All right.
no,
It's a
no, no.
business. It's opening a business like any other business.
But I think
All right.
it's
You if you do it right and you do it well, you'll make money.
I think it's how you're right. I think it's how you're doing it.
Right.
How are you? What is the goal of your business? Is the goal of your beer business to bring customers into the tap room and sit and drink beer, have a good time, and go home? Maybe they take home a 4-pack or they take home a growler or whatever, and you're satisfied with X amount of dollars.
Right.
Then yes, you can make money. Is your goal to be? I want people to come in. I want them to buy my beer, maybe have a taste, and then get out because I want to get my beer into as many bars and liquor stores as I possibly can.
Right.
Yeah, you can make money if you do it right.
Sure.
So there are ways to make money. It's about being innovative. It's about working with the town that you're operating in. It's about how have you built out your business? The breweries that are in the middle of nowhere are not making any money because they're destination spots. You have to want to go to them.
Right.
I think the trend now is if you're in a small town, a town center, and people are walking by to go out to dinner or whatever, or this and that, they're going to come to you because they have options. They can have a beer. They can go out and grab something to eat, come back and have another beer, or maybe they're going to go to the bar. But whatever it is, the town is going to make money because they're going to all these different places.
Right.
So that's where you need to be a little bit more innovative. And I'll just use these guys for an example. What Wet Ticket has done over the last almost year now, they've revitalized their business. They do events. They have people coming in. They're changing, and they've not changed their beer. They haven't done anything. It's just we're drawing people in. They did a thing where they made this Irish Red Ale with customers. They said $30 you can learn how to make beer at Wet Ticket. They had 50 people sign up. 50 people on a Saturday. They sit there for 4 hours. They got a flight of beer. They learned how to make the Irish Ale, and now they're going to come back and get a pint of it, as a part of the purchase price or whatever. They made out. You got 50 people in there. If 10 of them come back, I was talking to one people. They're all the way down past Atlantic City. They drove all the way up just to
do
be
it.
part of the event. That's fantastic.
That's absolutely
That's
fantastic.
nice.
That's what you want. But that's not the norm. Brotherton was making good beer. Brotherton had a nice location, a nice building.
It's a nice building, nice location in Echo, and the beer was good. The beer was.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think it's.
I venture to say I have my opinion on one of the things that was kind of had them downtrodden. But go ahead, I'll tell
the
that.
pandemic. I think the pandemic hit them really hard. I mean,
also distribution too, because they were distributing with Hunterdon, and Hunterdon was gone.
Right, and so those that were distributing with Hunterdon that lost out didn't know how to shift. This business is all about shifts. How can you shift to whatever whenever something is thrown at you? Nothing is perfect. I mean, look at what Bolero did. Bolero was just Bolero. They finally got their building built. They got it up and running. Everything was great. Pandemic hits. Now they shift to doing a distro model. Online, this, that, whatever. They create their own distribution company. They brought in a whole bunch of breweries. They're adding more. They're doing different things. Now your sales guy, when he goes to a bar, he doesn't just have Bolero to sell. He's got 10 other beers to sell. So you've got choice. That's another thing. So again, it's how do you pivot and shift as the business is continuing to evolve? I mean, they're in a great location. They're literally 2 minutes from MetLife Stadium. That place should be on Sunday should be packed with people buying their beer and driving into the stadium. I don't know if that's the case because I've never been there on a Sunday, so I can't speak to that. But I'm just saying,
for the most part.
yeah. So again, I think those that are innovative have survived. Those that don't and just continue to do the status quo as they are going to suffer. I mean, that's just plain and simple.
No, you're right. You're right. And it's a shame, but Brotherton closing. And some of the other news in New Jersey, it was probably a couple of weeks before Brotherton announced, was Bucket Brigade announced that they were closing, but
shifted, right? They're
shifted.
obscure, right?
And then it's the son of one of the owners,
Right.
is taken over, and he's making a new brand. He's brewing different beer, and he's remodeling it as a new brewery. So yes, Bucket Brigade closed, but the
Right.
brewery didn't close.
Yeah,
They
so I
just
looked at that as a plus
changed.
plus.
Right,
One
exactly.
one left, same building, you know, they're taking out, and
Right,
that's a good thing. That's what you want
right,
to see. But
right.
it's sad that some of these guys just, and again, I think in Brotherton's case, I think those guys were looking to retire. I think because of the pandemic, they opened, they had a lot of, you know, you're trying to open, but you can only open halfway. So they had projected a certain amount of money that they were going to make. Now they had to scale that back because of restrictions of being in their building and stuff. You know, again, a lot of different, you know, ebbs and flows. And maybe they couldn't pivot from that. And maybe they didn't want to pivot from that. Maybe they're like this.
It could have been a little of both. They couldn't,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to.
Right. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're closing, and that's sad. And you never want to see a place close. It would have been nice if somebody would have bought the building, but or bought the business from them. But I don't think you're going to see too many people jumping in like that now. You know, with both
exactly.
that's a big place. That's a big building.
There's a lot there's a lot of change going on, and I'll give my 2 cents in a minute. I just want to ask Dave. Dave, did you pour your third beer?
Nope, I'm still
Because I just poured my third.
Oh.
That never
for
happens
you.
on this show, by the way.
It's happened. It's happened before. It has happened before.
You see, he just finished, because I literally just finished mine a second ago.
No,
You have a
still.
sip left. There you go.
I've still
So
got a
while
little
he
bit left
finishes
here.
that, then I'll do mine. I'll just say my third one right now, and it never happens where I announce my third. This is spot on for St. Patrick's Day, and it's a local New Jersey brewery, and it would be Kane, and that would be Port
Nice.
Omna. Port Omna,
Nice.
right there. There.
Love this. Love that. It's named after a town
There
where
you
his
go.
family's from.
And I put that in proper glassware too. So there you go.
Look at
There
me being
you go.
Starodumsky.
Had to be John Starodumsky tonight. So there you go.
Nice.
So slot show on that one.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a good beer. All right. But in any event, so my point that I was going to say, yeah, there's nobody getting into this business right now that I know of anyway, that I've seen or heard of, not know of, but heard of, seen, whatever, jumping into it the way a lot of people have been jumping into it over the last 10, 15 years, right? It's not a great time for craft beer right now. There's a lot. Now, keep in mind, it's a great time for craft beer drinkers. There's just not enough of them right now because of seltzers and RTDs,
right,
and other cocktails and other forms of alcohol, and the economy. You know, when eggs cost $12 a dozen, you have less money to spend on alcohol.
Yeah, it's disposable.
Well, that's from the bird. That's from the bird flu. It's not a. That's not an.
I was using it as an example. But some of the other
my
point is it's still a drinker's market. Housing, right? It's a seller's market, a buyer's market. It's a drinker's market right now. It's not a brewer's market right now.
No,
and there's a lot of factors for that.
But here's the other thing. A lot of these places that are opening now. There was a guy I was looking on one of the Reddit feeds about New Jersey beer, and the guy was asking questions. His friend wants to open a brewery in Union County, and there aren't that many in Union County. But he was asking like what towns and this and that and whatever, and he wanted to get some questions or whatever.
Well, it's three, right?
Well, it's Wet Ticket, Lions Roar,
and
Yale Terrace. Twin Elephant actually falls in Union County because I think Chatham.
Twin Elephant's in Union County. Yeah. Or is it? No, Chatham's in Union County. Yeah.
No, Chatham's in Union County, and then Climax is in Union County.
Oh, Climax.
Just people forget about that.
Silly me.
So there's 5 breweries in Union County. But so anyway, somebody had said on Reddit, and I think this is a great point. Your beer now has to be buttoned up, out of the box, fantastic when you open up your place. You're going to make a great, and I don't care what the size of the place is. I don't care if you want to open up, 3 storefronts, one tiny little storefront, this and that. If you want people to come back consistently, your beer has to be sensational right out. No room for error.
Nope.
Very, very tiny, tiny mistakes. If your beer is mediocre, if your beer is, well, it's okay, but it needs room for, you are not going to last as a business right now because, again, it falls back to disposable income. If I'm going to take the time to go to your place and spend $15, $30, $40, $50, maybe I'm going to have a couple flights, maybe I'll take something, a growler home because most of them don't have cans right off the bat. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, your beer better be good because if not, I'm not coming back to drop another $50 on your beer and not know if it's good or not. I mean, I think the only example right now that I could think of all the breweries that have opened in the last year and a half is Bakes. Bakes was on fire right out of the box and still is. The guy knew what he was doing. He really put it together right and came out firing. And, you know, an expensive building, a lot of money sunk into it, but his beer is excellent. And that's why he's got people there.
Mhm.
If your beer isn't good,
Oh, the place
you're not
is
gonna last.
You
consistent.
got you have to have a good product. You have to have good liquid.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna
Your guy's
stay.
liquid is good liquid out of the box. Like, I mean, there's no question. Every single thing that Coastal Brew Works does is delicious. That's the key. If your stuff is not good, if it's mediocre, if it's and I think that's the problem with some people that are home brewers, that people buoy them and say, oh, you know, your stuff is great. You should open your own business. Your stuff is great. Go around to 100 strangers and have them try your beer. If 95 of them say it's great, then maybe it's time to open a business. If you get less than 95, go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Plain and
You're
simple.
absolutely right.
That's what it's coming to.
It is what it's
That's
coming
what
to.
it's
It's
coming to.
100% what it's coming to.
You don't have time to make mistakes. I hate to use the sports metaphor. It's like the Giants. The Giants don't have time to make mistakes this season because they're going to be people fired right away if they
100%.
right. So that's it. Make your beer as if your job is on the line when you open. If you don't have anybody there, you know what I mean. Like, you know, people throw shade all the time. We do it all the time on Climax and you know, Yale Terrace, and their beer is terrible and whatever and this that. Those are two outliers because Climax owns the building. He doesn't care whether he sells his beer or not. He's made his money 15 times over. It doesn't matter. And the same thing with Yale Terrace. Guy owns the place.
Yep.
So who cares?
Yep.
You know, but most people don't have that luxury.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, on that note, pause on that 1 second.
Sure.
Brian just commented in. Brian Boke, he said, Beer O'Clock, Drowned Lands, black gold coffee, bourbon barrel aged imperial stout with coffee, 10.5%. That's what he's drinking. So he's
That's a good
he's off
way
the
to
bus
start.
and home and catching up.
up.
There you go. That's the way it
Good
starts.
way to catch up.
But I appreciate what you're saying about Coastal, and that's one of the things that we talked about from day one. We're like, we have to brew good beer, and we hope that it rates, and we hope that it slots in with everybody else. We're not saying that we want to brew.
That Patter's beer was phenomenal, and you guys got recognized for. I mean, listen, I know it's untapped, but still, it's a big deal.
Hey, it's right there. I mean, we were recognized as, and I'll put there's the award right there. Sorry, I was blocking your face there. On
no, it's okay. You can block it. It's okay.
Untapped Community Awards. #1 Belgian and Gold Paters beer in the United States is
fantastic.
Those Monkfish right there. So anywhere you see Monkfish, get it and enjoy it. It's a fantastic beer. It's a light, easy drinking Belgian. It's like the lawnmower beer of the monks is what we call it.
Right.
But yeah, it's been recognized as the #1 Belgian Paters beer in the United States. So there you go.
Delicious. Everything you guys do is delicious.
I appreciate it. But that's half the battle, right? Brewing the liquid is half the battle. You got to have the people coming by, and you have to have the events, you have to have the space, you have to have the location, and you have to. And there's a little bit of luck in it too. I'm not gonna.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
There is. I mean, because I can tell you right now, I've heard, and for many years, not just recently, right? Breweries that have amazing beer, like ridiculously amazing beer, and they're not making it. They're not doing what they should be doing because of their location or many other reasons, whatever.
The location,
And then
finances, how they run their business, what they're paying.
Sure.
There's a myriad of different things. But I
Yeah.
to speak of the festival portion of it, whereas breweries are not doing well, and the festivals that aren't doing well. I think when it comes to the festivals, I think people are burnt out of, I'm going to buy a ticket, I'm going to go to a thing, and I'm just going to drink my face off for 4 hours. Like, I'm
That's
just going to try every beer there and whatever. I think, again, you have to be, innovative and unique. It has to be an event that, wow, there's different things there. What they're doing this year at the Atlantic City Beer and Music Fest, when John told me the stuff that he's doing, and we played the interview back in February, I love it. You could do a blind taste testing during the event. You walk around, you get this thing. They're going to have an app that you download right there. You're going to be able to, do all these different things. If you're into it for the fun of it, listen, if you're there with 10 of your friends and you're there to get drunk, whatever, it's not for you. But if you're there just to, hey, there's this brewery and that brewery, and I want to try this and whatever, and this, that, you're going to be able to do something that's innovative that nobody else is doing, which I think is great.
Yeah.
The years that they held the fest and they wanted every Jersey brewery to bring something new that you couldn't get anywhere else. That's a draw.
Sure.
That's to me to say, and I would have done that this year. I would have said, every brewery that's coming, you have to bring a new beer. It can be available in your tap room after the AC Beer Fest, but 3 weeks later or whatever it is. So you tease the people, hey man, if fear of missing out, I got to get to this event. Because I want to try the beer first. I want to be the first to try it, or special pours, or whatever the case may be. I think that's the way that you do. When Big Brew a couple of weeks ago, the VIP hour, you had everybody in there had something special in that first hour to pour, which was great. Was it there when people walked in at 1 o'clock? Some of them might have had it. Most of them, it was gone. It was done already. If you didn't get in on it, well, then you missed out. And to me, that's how you have to keep, innovating. It's not just, I'm going to throw 50 breweries in and some band's going to play, Smoke on the Water, 15 times. Break, and, we'll come back and we'll do Freebird. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, because most, I would say probably 80% of the people that are attending the festival never heard either of those songs.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Speaking of John, he gets great bands every year.
He does.
I mean,
2 years ago, the
Right.
last year on Bader Field, he had Dropkick Murphys and 311.
Yeah. Well,
who does that at a beer fest?
No, nobody. And my problem with that event, and we all know that. I mean, look, he oversold it for Dropkick and didn't have enough breweries. He admitted that. So, I mean, that was a problem. When you have a line 25 deep for Guinness, that's a problem. When there's all these other great breweries that are there. I mean, that's
very, very, very.
And the weather didn't help him either. It was freezing cold in June, which shouldn't have happened. But whatever. I mean, those things you can't affect. But I've been going to the AC Beer Music Fest easily 12 years now, 12, 13 years or something like that. I mean, I think the second year that my friend and I
that was the day of the day of Dropkick Murphys right there.
Yeah, I bought that jacket at the Bass Pro Shop because I needed a jacket. It's freezing. But the second year that I went to the AC Beer Music Fest, Everclear was the headliner. I mean, come on. That was tremendous. They had Mighty Mighty Boss Tones one year.
Mighty Boss Tones were there one year, absolutely.
Yeah. Where else are you going to go?
It was 2019, I believe it was.
Yeah. Where else are you going to go to see fantastic music, drink over 100 breweries, right? Food for purchase, dunk a stripper, throw hatchets, silent disco, all these crazy things for that ticket price.
There for that.
Which one?
It's almost.
The Dunker Stripper was for years, and then somebody complained they got rid of it, and then he said, "Okay, we're going to throw hatchets," and I'm going, throwing hatchets,
alcohol and edged
not a good
weapons.
idea.
Nice.
Not a good idea, but it worked. It worked. But I'm just saying, and I think the other thing that has tailed off, and I'm hoping it doesn't this year, is that in years past, Founders had an enormous setup where you could hang out with them. Firestone Stone used to have this 3 booths and a throne and all kinds of different things. And Sam Adams would do a whole, and Dogfish would do a whole thing. Those guys don't do those things anymore. I mean, that's where I think that you get back to, make it an event, make it something that people want to go to and hang out and talk with the reps and, and do different things. That's where I think it becomes, innovative and get people to go.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you 100%. You have to get back to that. And a lot of those, like the Founders and the Stone, that's all part and parcel of what's gone on with Hunterdon over the last couple of years.
Right.
Them going out, it's not the presence anymore that they had.
But Founders was pulling back even before that.
They were.
After the pandemic, they sort of completely pulled out of Jersey. I mean, listen, as a brewery, they had their own problems.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why they pulled back. Yeah, I mean, that's a shame to see. And I know that the focus, at this point now, I think the focus of the AC Beer Music Fest should be about the Jersey beers.
Yeah.
Like the one year that John had all the Jersey breweries lined up so that you could just hit them all in one, like just go around in a circle and hit them all. I thought that was great. I want to hit the national guys and, try some different things, but I have a whole, two sides of every Jersey brewery that's here.
It was in the middle. You're talking about like in
the middle.
In the middle, yeah. And it was just right. You could just wasn't even two sides.
That was the year Demented. That was the year Demented went out of business.
Yes.
And I saw Demented's owner. They had like a booth because I think like he paid.
Tom was there. Tom was there. Yeah.
Yes, and I saw Tom, and Tom was walking around on a mission.
Yeah.
Like he was. The word sober was not in his vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it that way. Yeah. So interesting stuff.
Yeah. So, Dave, would you just pour? You poured your third. So.
Yes, I did pour my third. This is from one of my favorite breweries, Ghost Talk. This is Raven Dark.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's nice and dark, I put it in my.
Oh, look at that!
Glass.
Look at that!
Good. It shows up nicely when it's in this. With a dark beer.
My third is going to be Poland Spring.
Oh, look at that! Oh, that's the Bud Light. That's the Bud Light copy. Okay.
You've got that in appropriate glassware. I like that.
Appreciate that.
There you go.
That's what happens when you have to get up at 3:00 in the morning.
So exactly. So back to music. So you're working tomorrow, and then you're going to the event in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Are you coming home before going to the event in Brooklyn?
Oh yeah. I come home first, and I'll run over there. I'm trying to get. I think the thing starts at like 5 or 5:30. I'm trying to get in there, hang for a little bit, and then I think I'm going to leave before the Grateful Dead cover band comes on at 8:00 because I want to get back home. Because the following night, got a big beer dinner at Paragon Tap and Table. We're doing a beer dinner with Twin Elephant Brewing.
Very nice.
Which is going to be phenomenal.
I saw that.
5 courses.
Right.
5 courses. 5 beers. $100 includes tax and tip. Tell me where you're going to get. Tell me where you can get that kind of beer and food for $100, and it includes your tax and tip.
I'm in. Right. Sign me
awesome.
up. Now Mike's back at Paragon.
Mike is back at Paragon. He just came back. It's a funny story. So 3 weeks ago, was it 3 weeks already? I think it's 3 weeks already. I am getting I'm getting an EKG because my doctor wanted to get a level on me because I hadn't had one in a while. So the same night, Joe Piscopo is doing.
Sucks to get old, folks. That's what
that's basically what I'm saying. So the same night, Joe Piscopo is doing a book launch party at the Trump Golf Course in Bedminster. Right. I'm invited, obviously. And so my EKG was at 3:00. His event was at 6. So I said, well, I'm not going to go there and then drive all the way home from Berkeley Heights, then go all the way back up to Bedminster. So I'm going to stick around. I was already in my suit, whatever. So I said, you know what? I'll stop by Twin Elephant. I'll have a beer or two. Maybe I'll scoot over to Oak Flower and then, make my way up to Bedminster.
Go back to Bedminster,
yeah. Away or whatever, because I hadn't been to Oak Flower in a while or Twin in a while. So I walk into Twin, and lo and behold, who do I see? But Scott Wells from Bolero. And I look and I go, you don't work here. And then I realize, oh, yes, he does, because they're distro,
they distro, yeah.
And Cindy's there, and Tim is there, and Frank is there, and whatever. And so we're all, chit-chatting and this and that, whatever. I ended up sticking around. I had a couple of beers, and then I went up to Bedminster. But before that, the first thing Scott says to me is, Carton Beer Dinner, Paragon, April, you're in. Okay. I said, yeah, you guys distribute them too? Sure, I'm in. Tell me the date. So he goes, April 12th. I go, that's a Saturday. I said, nobody does a beer dinner on a Saturday. He goes, well, yeah, well, Mike DeSimone's back, and, we're working. I go, whoa, no, stop. Mike's back? When did he come back? He's been in Vermont bartending because he had a midlife crisis and decided to go to Vermont. He goes, yeah, he's back. So I immediately text him and I said, when did he come back? He goes, Monday. I go, what? So I text him and I go, you're back since Monday and you don't tell me this is Friday? He's like, yeah, I was going to call you and I got some ideas and I want to run them by you, blah, blah, blah. I said, all right. I said, I have to go to Bedminster. I will stop at Paragon on my way back home when I'm done with the event because it's over at 8 o'clock. All right, great. So I have a couple of beers there. Scott goes through the whole thing about what the Carton dinner is going to be about. And by the way, the Carton dinner is going to be fantastic. So not only are we doing the dinner, but it's going to be outside on the patio. And he who shall not be named will be running the dinner. And then there's a tap takeover afterwards, of which one of their ESBs is going to be on cask.
Nice.
So this is an event I think you would want to go to.
This is Saturday, April 12th.
This is Saturday, April 12th. It starts at 5:30. And if you don't want to come,
day before Palm Sunday, for those of you,
that's correct. That's correct. No, actually, yes, that's correct. Day before Palm Sunday. And actually, if you just want to come for the tap takeover, you can. Those beers will be on, and the other beer will be on cask or whatever. But it's cool. They're going to do it on the patio, and he who shall not be named will be running the dinner. And
he'll be there. Yeah, there you go.
Right. So the Twin Elephant dinner was supposed to happen in January. It got pushed off to February, and then it got pushed off again because it wasn't moving or whatever. So I go to the Bedminster event, had 2 unbelievable old fashions that I was just completely floored at how they made them.
That sucks because nobody on this show right now loves old fashions. Yeah, not at all.
Exactly. So I leave there. I go to Paragon, and Mike and I start talking. And I said, "We got to do this Twin Elephant dinner. This is ridiculous. You got the beer already. The menu that Juan had put out, Chef Juan, looked amazing. Let's make it happen." He said, "All right, how do we do that?" I said, "Buy some advertising on my show. We'll get it done." Okay. So it was literally that simple. We drew up the contract, done, signed. They're buying time. We got things moving along, and we got the dinner rescheduled for this coming Thursday. And the beers are unbelievable. I mean, if you're a fan of Twin Elephants IPAs, I'm going to disappoint you. There's only one IPA on the menu. Everything else is a lager or a pilsner, a stout. I think there's not a saison. I think maybe a red ale. So there's only one IPA on the menu. But the menu, I mean, it's grilled mako,
I saw
rib
that.
lasagna. I mean, just one is going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
$100, 5 beers, and dessert, the whole thing, tax and tip, all included.
5 courses, 5 beers, tax and tip included. $100.
Tax and tip, $100. That's it, all in, $100.
So now, mind you, let me just say this. I'm just going to put this out there right now.
Yes.
On Tuesday, March 11th,
right,
2025, at 8:37 p.m. Eastern Time.
Right.
For us to say 5 courses, 5 craft beers, tax and tip included, $100 is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's go back even to 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even saying go back to the 90s or earlier.
Yeah.
Go back to 2010. And we said that. Be like, $100, really?
Yeah.
That's
Nobody would have had an eyelash to it.
Right. So yeah, there you go. So but in any event. I digress. So it's cool that Mike is back. And there's a lot of good things going on.
We've got another thing in the works. I don't really want to talk about it too much right now because we haven't really ironed out all the details. But one of the things that he wants to do is directly involved with the craft beer that they serve there. And if this kind of works out, there's some legalities that we have to sort of work out with the ABC and stuff, or he has to work it out with the ABC to make sure that it's actually legit and can do it. But what will really be cool is we will be able to do something where we give money back to a charity. Nice. So we're sort of working on the details on that. As soon as I get the details, I'll announce it on my show, but I'll certainly let you guys know. It's going to be
let us know. We'll share it on our socials and everything else.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, but good stuff that's happening at Paragon. They're going to elevate the menu a little bit too in the coming months. They're still going to keep some of the same stuff, burgers and wings and things like that, but they're going to make more of a dining experience when you come in, a little bit elevated, so that listen, you want to take your girl out for a nice fancy dinner and not have to drive all the way into New York City, Paragon's going to be the place to go to. So it'll be fun. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and if you guys can make it Thursday, come. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to all the beers will be on tap. You can drink all the beers on tap if you don't want to do the dinner, but the dinner is going to be.
I'm considering getting a ticket to go out and meet you in Brooklyn tomorrow, but we'll.
Well, why don't you message me
Right.
because you could be my +1. You don't have to get a ticket. I mean, if you're going to stick around for the band, there's a ticket included there too. But
Right. We can figure it out. All right, I'll talk to you afterwards. We'll talk.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. On that note, so speaking of bands, right? There's that, and we were talking about bands earlier. I think it's time for our top 3 list.
Oh.
All right. Dave, what do you think? You think it's time for your our top 3 list?
Is there anything else we want?
Well, we can talk back to. We could talk about a couple of things afterwards too. We can rehash a few things, but there's a couple of things that we'll talk in closing afterwards. But I think it's time for our top 3 list. And top 3 list tonight, and it's one that we've been saving for the next time Al comes on, because this is. Hold on, I just want to double check. This is
the last time I was on. We never got to our top 3 list.
The last time you were on
was December, and we were very inebriated. We were,
exactly. And Dave didn't. We didn't get to it.
I don't think I was. We
didn't get to our top 3 list, and Dave didn't get to the end of the show. So
right.
There you go. So exactly. So this is the 11th time you've been on this show.
I wasn't keeping track, but that's good.
Yeah. We keep track. So there you go. But we were keeping this one for you. Dave and I talked about it earlier, and there's a couple, right? We did New Jersey diners. We kept that for you, and so forth and so on. So there's a few that Dave and I come up with, and we earmark them. Okay, this is an Al show, that kind of a thing. So,
all right, I'm flattered. Thank you.
But we appreciate it. But in any event, this is our top 3 list tonight. Is top 3 favorite misheard lyrics. Top 3 favorite misheard lyrics of all time. So there you go. And I know we put you on the spot, and we told you at this point almost 2 hours ago.
Right.
So, but in any event, So, what are your top 3 misheard?
Man for Man, Blinded by the Light is probably one of the songs that has misheard lyrics.
Wrapped up like a douche, not a
right.
douche.
Correct.
Revved up like a douche.
Right. A song
you hear it wrapped up like a douche, but it's revved up like a deuce.
A song that Bruce Springsteen makes quite a bit of money on. They don't.
And his lyrics were cut loose like a deuce.
Right. There's an Aerosmith song. I can't remember the name of it. We used to do it when I worked. Oh God. Wow, this is really aging me, because this month is actually my 34th year in the radio business. And my first job at WNEW-FM, we used to do, guess the lyric. We play a snippet of a lyric, and you had to guess what it was, the words. And if you got it right, you won tickets or whatever. Sure. There was an Elton John song that we did. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. There's a misheard lyric in there. And I can't remember. I'm trying to remember.
It's the it's about her boots, and everyone.
No.
Oh no, that
it's shout out something and shout out she's with me, but there's the line before it, people mess up or whatever, and it took a while for people to get the answer, and I can't remember the lyric off the top of my head. And then, oh God, what's the third one? It's an Aerosmith song, and we had to actually slow it down so much that you had to to really get the words. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So there you go. Elton John, Aerosmith, and Manfred Mann.
Is the Elton John?
What was the Aerosmith song?
That's it.
What was it?
I may sink a little drink and shout out.
People get that wrong all the time. It's not. They think it's Pink. They think it's like so many other things, but not that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I can't remember off the top of my head the Aerosmith song. I mean, God, it was 30-something years ago. Please.
There you go.
I remember what I had for dinner last night. Actually, I do. So, I'm gonna leave it at that.
There you go. All right, cool. Dave, yours.
I have a slightly different take because, you know, there's always times, you know, there's those songs where you've listened to and you've got the lyrics wrong, or you know people who've had the lyrics
Right.
wrong to quite a bit of humorous effect. And two of mine are actually lyrics that Carrie had wrong.
Okay.
So my hers, and it's a band we mentioned earlier, and she thought the line was, "I guess it
Oh, okay.
rained. I guess it rained in Africa."
I guess it rains down in Africa.
Rather than "I bless the rains."
I guess it.
I guess it rains. That's actually kind of funny if they were singing it. I guess it rains down. In
I
Africa.
guess it rains down in.
I'm going to sing that at the show.
Yeah,
I'm going to sing it like that.
yeah, we're going to do. We will do that. The number. My number
The three of us will do that
Yes.
right at Kerry. Yeah, so.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. You want to laugh? Though? My seats at the show. Do you know the very top of the, not the lawn, but the seats that are in the back that
The
are on the cover?
ball, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know the one set of seats is only 2 seats? There's like 2 seats in one section. Those are the seats that I have.
We're a little bit further down, but all the way to the left.
Okay. There you go. I got them specifically because my wife doesn't like to be around people when we're sitting. So I said, I got you the 2 isolated seats so we can
There
just
you
sit. And now she's like, I don't know if I want to go because it's gonna be too hot. I'm like,
Well, I got to be honest with you. With PNC, those seats where you're talking about out in the 400s.
yes,
Okay, in the 400s,
yes,
because PNC makes you have to get a chair for the lawn
Right.
seats. You have to get a chair, and you can't bring your own anymore. You have to rent one of theirs.
Well, you don't have to get a chair. You can buy lawn seats without buying a chair.
I thought there was a thing where you had to get a chair.
No, they.
All right.
no.
Well, on that note, then, regardless of that, if you
Right.
if you pay for the ticket for the lawn seat and you rent a chair from them,
Right.
it's actually more than the 400s.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%, 100%. That's why I don't buy a chair usually, because it's not worth it.
No,
If
it's in the 400s. You're closer. You have to do anything
Bring a
else.
blanket.
Boom, done.
Correct. There's good things and bad things about the lawn. The best part about sitting on the lawn now is the fact that the acoustics are better on the lawn than they are in the building because of the concrete.
Right.
The concrete muffles a lot of the sound.
It
So
does.
unless you're really sitting up close, you can't really hear a lot of the other sounds of the band as it's going on.
Mhm.
They could defeat that purpose by putting curtains, which would reflect the sound back and out. Instead, they just let it deaden all over the concrete. My buddy worked there for years and tried to get them to change that because of the fact that people were complaining about the sound. They never did. That's why I always try to get seats on the outside if I'm going to sit, because I can at least hear it a little bit better. And if you're on the lawn, it's actually better. The cabana, actually, even though you're paying more money for that cabana at the top of the lawn, it's worth the price for a couple of reasons. One, you can listen to the show better. Two, it's couches, not actual seats, so you're sitting with a few people. There's 2 private bathrooms. They're porta potties. They're clean constantly, and you can get beers, and you don't have to leave the little space. So if you're willing to pay the extra money, it's worth this. It's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah,
And if it rains, you're covered. So
exactly.
Yeah.
The seats we have for that show are pretty close to the bar that's off to the left of the stage.
Oh, okay. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking.
the bar off the left of the
Pretty
stage is
good.
actually a good bar. That's a good bar.
Yeah.
So, all right, Dave. So that's your number 3. I guess it rains down in
To
Africa.
continue with my list, the number 2 was one. It's Simple Minds. Alive and Kicking. I always heard it as "I like fried chicken,"
I like fried chicken.
and that's the way I would sing it. I like fried chicken.
That's great.
I like fried chicken. There you go.
Actually,
I like fried chicken.
there's actually a Queen song where it could be mistaken as fried chicken, and Freddie at the end of it actually says, "Gimme, gimme, gimme fried chicken."
Wow.
He actually does what would be normally a misheard lyric, but he does it himself at the end, which is kind of
Nice.
cool. My number 1, it's something that we were driving along, and Carrie was singing along to a song. I'm like, what did you just say? and it's Smash Mouth's "Walking on the Sun."
Okay.
And it's the line, "You need to be there when your baby's old enough to relate."
Right.
She was singing it as, "You need to be there when your baby's old enough to get laid." I couldn't stop laughing. That to me is one of the funniest mishears of a lyric.
That's great.
And I will never sing it any other way again.
That's fantastic.
That is amazing.
Oh my God.
That's great. When your baby's, you need to be there when your baby's old enough to get laid. There.
Right.
Wow.
Do you though? Do you though?
Yeah, I don't want to be there.
Yeah. All right. That's funny. And what song is that?
Smash Mouth's "Walking on the Sun."
Walking on the Sun. Walking.
And apparently she's listening.
Is she?
Yes.
She is. All right. Whatchamacallit? So, all right. So I'll do my top threes. I just texted Jess to log back on if she can. Because
Well, I think one of the bands you're probably going to mention, Bare Naked Ladies.
Possibly.
no, I'm
Really?
actually not. Oh yeah, Carrie just laughed. Ha ha. There you go.
So
Actually, she did that after the first one.
Yeah. Oh, she did.
so
But
Bare Naked Ladies-
John spends the whole time in top threes typing.
I'm typing yours because we put up a list. So anyway,
So Bare Naked Ladies played for us years ago, back in 1993. I think it was right after Gordon came out. Well, the radio show.
Gordon came out in '92. So yeah,
Right. 93 was the year that they really broke into America, or at least, the very least, New York City. And so they did a concert with us. We had a studio built for concerts. And so they came and they did a show for us. We invited fans. I think we had 20 fans win tickets or whatever it was. So everybody knew the words to every song that they were doing. So because they're playing all this stuff over Gordon,
Sure.
and they're doing Grade 9 and Enid and whatever. And so, oh God, what was the lead singer's name at the time? I can't.
Stephen Page.
Stephen Page, right? So Stephen Page turns around and goes, "We're going to do a song that," or it was Robinson who said this. He said, "We're going to do a song."
Ed Robinson, yeah.
Robinson. He said, "We're going to do a song right now."
By the way, there's Ed Robinson, me, and Jessica right there.
So he says, "We're going to do a song right now that nobody knows the words to, because we're tired of you guys knowing all the words to all of our songs." So Stephen Page goes into this thing. He says, I heard that the ancient Egyptians, instead of bathing, they used to cover themselves in oil, honey and oil, and they used to wipe it off with a strigil." And the drummer turns around and says,
Tyler.
He says, "Strigil? Oh, I thought you said Stargil," like he was referring to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Willie Stargell, yeah.
So they said, yeah, and this the name of the song is "Scraping Your Skin with Luxurious Oils," and they break into this song that nobody had ever heard of, and it was amazing, and nobody could do the lyrics of it, because I was like, oh my God, I still have the recording of the concert. They did 8 songs. I had it on a DAT for the longest time, and I finally transferred it, and now I have it.
That's digital audio tape for those of you that are not aware.
And I listened back to it. The bass player was playing an acoustic bass. Tyler was playing drums on a suitcase. It was just totally stripped down,
Nice.
and unreal and raw and phenomenal. I mean, just, when they did "If I Had $1 Million," they were just changing stuff up. They were playing Kiss lyrics. They were doing "I Want to Rock and Roll All Night." They were doing like Buck Owens. It was
that's the bass player. It's Jim Cregan. There you go.
Yes, Jim Cregan. There you go.
Hey. On that note, I brought that up because we actually, first time we met them, we've hung up a couple times. The first time we met them was up in Rhode Island. You know this story, but
yeah, I know this.
And had beers with them and everything else. And then we saw him a few years later, and Jim Cregan sees me walking across the parking lot and goes, "Beer guy!" That's
good though.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's awesome.
They remembered me years later because we used to have a syndicating company that I used to work for. The woman who was our boss, she used to wear this like ratty, really old sweater in the office. And when she went away for vacation one year, we took the sweater and we brought it around Rockefeller Center, and we convinced people that they needed to put the sweater on so we could take a Polaroid of them. They were going to be on David Letterman that night. 30 strangers to put this sweater on, take a picture, and then we took all the Polaroids and put it on a big piece of oak tag paper and left it on her desk when she got back from vacation. She subsequently burned the sweater. She got rid of it because we tortured her.
Right, yeah.
And then the next year, she had a Grammys jacket. We took that jacket. I took it to a Bare Naked Ladies show at the old Irving Plaza. They were doing a noontime show. I won tickets on K-Rock. And I had Stephen Page and Ed Robinson hold the jacket up while I took Polaroids.
That's great.
It was hilarious.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Nice.
So, all right. So my top three. I got one honorable mention. And this is the lovely Jessica. Okay. It's hers. And nothing beats this. And it's hers. It's not mine. This is why it's an honorable mention, right?
Right.
But it's hers, and it's amazing. So we know the song from Band-Aid, Do They Know It's Christmas Time, right?
Right.
At the end of the song, it's Feed the World, Do They Know It's Christmas Time, right? Forever, she thought they were saying Jesus, oh. Like, Jesus, oh.
All right.
So now, I mean, but from when she was a kid, right? I mean, she was, just young, right? So she thought that's what they were singing. And like years and years and years ago, first time we were, together during Christmas, whatever you want to call it, right? And the song came on the radio, and we're driving and blah, blah, blah. And she sings, and I guess at that point, she's singing the song, she's singing along. And she goes, Jesus, oh. I'm like, what did you say? Right? Yeah, it was Jesus, oh. Right? So from that point on, that's what they sing. There has not been one time since that day that this song has come on anywhere that I've heard it, and I have not sung Jesus, oh, during those lyrics. So
that's great.
That's great. So that those are the lyrics as far as I'm concerned, right? And my kids and everybody, right? So
I love it. I love it.
Anyway. All right. So that was an honorable mention. So my top three. Number three, Eagles. All right. Okay. Take It Easy. All right. Looking for a lover that won't blow my brother. Yeah.
That's important.
Running down the road trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. Looking for a lover that won't blow my brother. She's so hard to find.
All right.
Blow my cover.
Who said that?
No, but I mean, somebody, I can't even begin to tell you. Somebody at some point said it, and that's it was one of my favorite misheard lyrics.
For a lover who won't blow my brother.
Right. None of these, I will preface this, none of these are mine. I didn't ever think anybody was singing these lyrics.
You're a good lover, but I won't let you blow my brother.
All right. I've heard this. Right. Exactly.
Don't do that.
Number two, Miami Sound Machine. The Rhythm Is Gonna Get You.
Oh, the Rhythm Is Gonna Get You.
Right. Okay. Elizabeth's Gonna Get You. Elizabeth's gonna get you. Elizabeth's gonna get you.
Really?
Gonna get you. Somebody heard it, and I think it's hysterical the way they were singing it.
Put the title on the video when you.
I understand. It's great.
Rhythm Is Gonna Get You. Miami Sound Machine.
Elizabeth.
Record, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I've never understood when the title of the song is missing.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta love it. It. And the number one, Bob Marley, Jammin'.
Right.
Somebody thought, and I thought it was hysterical, and it's my favorite to this day. They thought the title was German. Yeah. We're German.
We're German.
That makes no sense. Okay.
Oh, it's that song, that reggae guy.
German.
German, yeah.
He's from Jamaica, but he's got a touch of German in it.
Yeah, he's got it. We're German. Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Oh my God.
They were great. So there you go. Those are mine. Oh, I gotta love it.
Wow.
So anyway.
Wow.
So all right. So what's coming up on the in the near future for the Gattullo Craft Beer Cast?
Well, I'm scheduled to do an interview tomorrow with comedian Dane Cook. He is
Is that right?
He's performing at the NJ Pack at the end of the month. I believe it is the 30th of March at NJ Pack. He's got a little tour going on. Interestingly enough, I was doing research today, writing questions for him. He's never done drugs or drank alcohol.
Is that right?
Yeah. ever.
Not
So,
one drug, not one drop of
it's
beer.
one of my questions. One of my questions on the list for tomorrow. So I'm a little, intrigued. That there's other stuff too, but yeah, that kind
So
of
clearly
intrigued.
he doesn't watch this podcast.
No, but
No. Wouldn't
no.
expect them
And
to.
I just did an interview today with a young lady from California. She has started a new beer called Beer Girl. Carolyn Falk is her name, and she works at her family's brewery just north of Los Angeles. And she started asking around. She was in the entertainment business, but during the pandemic, she stopped and started working with her family at the brewery because obviously she needed a job and things were shifting.
Sure.
And so she learned a lot about the brewery business or whatever, and really found a love for it and started working for them. And she found that a lot of people over the last couple of years were coming in and not drinking beer. They were the women specifically. They wanted a cider, they wanted a seltzer because obviously in California there's different laws.
Sure.
And she was wondering, how come you don't want to drink a beer? And they were, giving her feedback, makes me feel bloated. I didn't like this. I don't want to drink something with that high ABV, blah, blah, blah. So she, on her own, created a low sugar, gluten reduced Mexican lager, low ABV, like right around 4%. And it's been very successful. And she's shipping the beer all over the country, and she brews it out of her family's brewery.
What's it called again?
Beer Girl is the name of the beer.
Beer Girl. Okay.
So they're supposed to be sending me some samples, whatever. But I interviewed her this morning. That'll be next week's program, and then hopefully the following week, I'm trying to get Eric Orlando on from the New Jersey Brewers Association.
Brewers Association, sure.
Yeah, we've got some stuff to talk about, and I got some other stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. First week of April, though, Mike DeSimone's going to be back on from Paragon. He was on last week with the show with Sam. He'll be on the first week of April to tease the Carton Beer Dinner.
The Carton Beer Dinner. Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Awesome. That's awesome. All right. All right. Dave, you have anything to wrap up St. Patrick's Day with?
No, other than I'm one of the few people that's not a big fan of corned beef and cabbage.
I can't get enough of I can get enough of corned beef and cabbage. I can't get enough corned beef. Give me once I've had my fill of corned beef and cabbage with carrots and potatoes and all, and Irish soda bread and everything, then the rest of the corned beef I need to eat with some hot mustard on rye bread.
Well, usually while they're eating corned beef and cabbage, I'll make myself a Reuben. Usually what I wind up doing,
which is fine.
I'm just not a fan of any meal where everything is boiled.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just not.
That's not
my
how
thing.
I actually make my corned beef a little bit differently. I start it boiling it. Only because I like to, and a lot of people say you can actually.
Well, you got to get a lot of the salt out.
You have to boil it to get it gets some of the salt out of it, and the brine, the seasoning packets that you get with corned beef or whatever, go into the water.
Oh, throw those away.
I mean, it still helps a little bit. It actually kind of it adds a little bit more of the flavor to the corned beef with taking some of the salt out of it. But I start it anyway, so like I do about half of the time in. I do about half the time in the boiling it, and then I finish it in the oven. Actually, if I have the time, I'll finish it
under the boiler, or are you baking?
If I have the time, I'll actually put it in a crock pot. But if I don't have the time, I finish it in the oven. A couple of comments really quick. Brian Boak says, I like it made like pastrami. There you go. Which is pastrami's fantastic as well. And Jess says, hi, I was busy. We were talking about your Jesus O lyrics because that was the
That's hysterical.
Top 3 list tonight. Top 3 favorite misheard lyrics. So there you go.
That's great.
There you go. So kudos to you. You were an honorable mention in our list. But in any event, yeah, I just give me a Reuben. I could eat a Reuben 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Yours wasn't good enough to make his list of 3.
There you go.
You need to talk to her.
First of all, she laughed. There you go, and she said that was the best. She said, "There you go."
There you go.
It was anyway.
All right.
But yeah, so that's how I finish my corned beef, and I made a bunch of corned beefs for the Belmar Parade last weekend. but I will make another one this coming weekend too.
Nice.
And then I will eat somebody else's while I'm out and about on St. Patrick's Day. So there you go.
Nice work.
Nice work. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. We got a few good things coming up with the podcast. Just pay attention, and we will be posting it in our upcoming shows. One I can tell you, 2 weeks from tonight, Dave will not be on the show. Dave is going to be busy doing a family thing. He's going to be busy doing the family thing, I should say.
Gotcha.
So Mr. Matthew Patensky will be filling in as my co-host. And we will have Mr. Charlie Backman on the show.
Nice.
From
Charlie looks great, by the way. By the way, speaking of Charlie, he brought a beer to Big Brew that was phenomenal. It was a guava, vanilla, IP, something. It was... I must have had 3 of them. They were that good. And Charlie looks fantastic.
He does.
He's lost like 50, 60 pounds or whatever. I mean, he just, wow, he looks great. He looks fantastic. I'm so happy for him. Good dude. Love Charlie.
Absolutely. So we'll more on that. So tune in 2 weeks from tonight, and you'll see what Charlie looks like, what Al's talking about.
Yes.
And you get to hear all about the fact that I'll tease it a little bit. Right now, technically, there is one person brewing all of the beer, all the craft beer that is being brewed in Middlesex County is being brewed by one person, and that is it. With the closing of, that's the other thing.
Jeez,
we didn't mention that we didn't mention that earlier. Steve Ashton. That closed. Right. It's another closure too, and that was from a couple months ago too.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
But yeah, it's Charlie. It's Charlie. So because the 3 breweries technically.
Oh, that's right. Because I you know what, I was thinking Jersey Cyclone, but that's technically Somerset.
Somerset. Right.
They are Somerset.
So yeah, Cypress and
Woodbridge Brewing.
Oh, right. But he's brewing.
So Charlie brews obviously all the Cypress beer. Charlie's the head brewer at South 40, and Charlie contract brews all of the Woodbridge Brewing Company beer out of Cypress. So Charlie Backman is brewing all of the beer in Middlesex County.
Nature calls. I'll be right back.
So, so that is what's going on. So you hear more about that from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
There you go.
In a couple of weeks. So, but yeah, pay attention to that. Al, we really appreciate it. We love it every time you come on the show. It's always a fun show.
Yeah.
As much as we love, when I say we, I mean me and myself and Matt. We love coming on your show. When I say we, I mean me and Dave on this side. Love it when you come on our show.
I appreciate it.
It's an amazing show. It always is, and it always will be. So there you go.
Thank you. Right. Appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, 100%. All right. On that note, though, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerom.com. That's LAGEROM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. I know I said Twitter, but it's now X technically, but it is what it is. You know what I meant. Anyway. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music Podcast, iTunes Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you'll find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. We actually just added YouTube Music too. YouTube, we have our YouTube channel, but YouTube Music is a different app, and it handles podcasts and music. So we're on that as well. But if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds. You'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Al, once again, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy the weekend. I'm sure you're going to go out all weekend this weekend, and next Monday Drink a lot of beer, but please drink responsibly during it, and enjoy all your food too. And we will talk to you next Tuesday, folks. Take care. Cheers.